Hey guys, we're 38 here, and we're here for the start of a brand new role-playing campaign using the, Star Wars Age of Rebellion FFG system. It's a system that none of us have really played before, so this is going to be fun. Jacob is rejoining us for this campaign, and
Hello.
Michael's eating, but, so top left for me, as per usual, is Andy.
Yeah.
Oh, below him as well.
You alright?
Yeah, and then Jacob has the big camera for me this week.
Hello.
Then to the top right of him when he gets back will be Michael. Below that is the pair of Dannielle and Connie.
Hello.
And above me is Adam. Right, so like I mentioned before I start the campaign, there's just a few things I want to, I feel that I'm going to have to go over. Just to set the kind of expectations for the campaign, alright? So, the first and probably most important thing to mention is that I'm not going to be following the Star Wars lore and like physics and such of it to the letter. Just because I feel that if I do that, I'll have to go looking up things every now and again, and that'll just slow down play, okay? So if I'm doing something that doesn't seem like it fits in Star Wars, just kind of assume it's been done that way to keep play going. Just to give an example that I know I'm going to use, technically in Star Wars, pilot suits do not protect you from the vacuum of space. However, in this campaign, they can do for a short amount of time. And like I said, there is a reason for that. Okay? Something else, and this is another important thing, is that my mindset going into this campaign is that I am going to be trying to go through the campaign in the kind of mindset of the main antagonist through all this. The reason I'm saying this is because there will be times when it seems like I am making decisions for the AI which completely contradicts any plan that you guys come up with. I want you to rest assured that is deliberate. That's a deliberate thing that I'm doing, but not because I'm trying to screw the party over, but because my mindset is, okay, this situation, this is what the players have to do. How do I think they're going to do it, and how would I counter that? Because this person, the antagonist, would pass down instructions for this. So if you do what I think you would do, then there will be a counter to it from the guys you're facing. But if you do something completely different to that, find a different way around it, then it's going to come out a lot much better for you in that sense, okay? So please don't think that I'm deliberately doing things against the party and trying to work against you. It's just with the mindset that I'm going into the campaign with, okay? There's also going to be one slight change to the rules as they are, and that's regarding personnel weapons against vehicles. And the reason being is that, for example, a missile launcher, which you'd expect would be at least decent against vehicles, in the rule set as it is practically useless. There's no point you even trying to go up against a vehicle when you're on foot, even with like actual anti-tank weapons, because they don't do anything. The reason being is that any personal weapons attacking any kind of vehicles on planetary scales, it's called, only do 1/10 of their damage. Or it counts out, so for example, a missile launcher that does 20 damage only counts as doing 2, and it only counts as doing 3 damage if it would do 30 at personal. Which means that it's basically impossible to do any damage against any vehicle. So, after talking to Will about it, what we came up with was that any personal weapon, like the rocket launcher, which has the breach weapon quality, does 1/5 of its damage on planetary scale. So it would do 4 damage rather than, essentially 2, and any uncancelled successes just add to that damage. It still takes a few shots to take out, even kind of like medium armoured vehicles, but it makes them viable in some sense. Otherwise, as soon as a vehicle shows up, you may as well just go, we surrender. You know, where's the fun in that? And so, and one quick last thing, just because it's something. If you get, do you guys remember much about the session that we did back in December?
Nope.
Right. This is fair enough.
It's a little rough.
Right. Well, there were a couple of things there that we actually did incorrectly because I'd only really been looking at it since about a week. Oh, Michael's back. Essentially, the main thing is just about the wound threshold and how that works, which is because I was under the impression that when you hit the wound threshold, that's it. Whereas it's actually a case of you have to go over the threshold. The threshold is the absolute upper limit. Anything beyond that takes you down, which is something that I think we're getting wrong. And I think there was something else, and I can't remember it, but it'll come up during play, I'm sure. And I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. So, the one thing I would like to ask from you guys real quick is, in the story, you're going to all be put together into a squad, and I just want you guys to think of a name for the squad. Something sensible, I'll say. Nothing massively out there, please.
Floating orange Vikings. Something sensible. It is.
It's just
Clusterfuck 1, calling Clusterfuck 2.
That's not quite what I meant. What I meant was kind of like a name that I can call you, like you're like something squad or something like that. Just something
Clusterfuck.
Like I said, something sensible, please.
Clusterfuck 2. Power
Something-
Rangers.
Something sensible, please. Something reasonably sensible that if you're involved in kind of like larger conflicts, they can whoever's in command can just refer to you guys rather than going, "Oh, you Spec Ops guys over there."
Team Spec Ops. I'm trying to think of puns. Sounds puns.
Right, so
Team Hooked.
well, you guys have a think of some things and try and come up with
Pizza
something.
Hut. Team Pizza Hut.
A Pizza Hut squad. Oh my god.
Team One.
I wish I hadn't said anything now. I wish I'd just given you something. This is just a
Fucking
can of
like our
worms.
squad theme tune is that fucking song you do in school. You know, how does it go? You know, something, a pizza hut, a pizza. It's like
A Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
A Pizza Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut.
That's the one.
And then McDonald's.
Fried chicken and a pizza.
So,
Team
oh no,
Cowboy.
it's the fast food squad. Oh no, not the fast food squad. That cracked it
No,
up with
Ronald
tips.
McDonald and the hamburger left.
Right, that's tweaking.
Right, so
Space Hut.
so at
Space
the start,
Hut.
right, so at the start of every session, there's two things that need to be done. One by me, one by you guys. So on your character sheets, you will see that just below the dice pool at the top, there's a destiny pool, and I need you all to click the roll destiny button. Alright, let's just clear that pool. Alright. Sorry, so we've got I think we're still waiting on a couple of people.
Yeah, I rolled it and then it's cleared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it seems
yeah.
like we all rolled it and then you clicked clear.
Oh.
who hasn't done it? Oh, I think it's Connie who hasn't done it. Right, yeah. Yeah, so I'm learning how the Destiny pool works when you all click Roll Destiny, so this is my bad. Ah, the top
Why are you clearing it?
Oh, because I thought that it was from like a test that I'd done.
Oh.
I didn't realise that when you actually do Roll Destiny, it automatically adds it all together on it anyway.
Yeah.
I thought I had to put it in manually. So that's something that I now know for next time.
Great.
Well, while they're... I don't want to do it because they're talking, because it's about Destiny, which is something that we didn't use in Session 0, because I didn't understand how the hell it worked.
You.
Hello, yeah. Yeah. I think Connie's the last one to roll Destiny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually a really good result. Alright.
Well,
What I want you all to do to download the character sheets, if it hasn't done so already, is go sync with, I think it's like, there's like a sync with something button.
Sync with
Oh my
With GM.
Yeah.
Yeah, sync pool with GM, yeah. So hopefully that should, if you click that, sync up the Destiny pool with me.
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. It's synced. I'm pretty sure.
Right, so with Destiny, there's like light side and dark side points depending on what you've rolled in there. And you guys can use light side points to get certain like buffs and bonuses and things like that, and I can use dark side points to do the same. Whenever one side uses one of their destiny points, it automatically goes over to the other side. So, just use example, I'm just going to use a dark side point, and it should now update automatically, now 82. So, Will, can you use a light side point just to put... Oh, lovely, thank you. As you can see, it's now gone back to 7 and 3. Now, with destiny points, it's one, for the entire group, it's one per round. And you have to discuss it with other people to make sure they're happy for you to use that destiny point. And you can only use, and like I say, it's just the one. So there's multiple effects you can do. For example, like upgrading your check to make it easier for you. Upgrading the difficulty of one of my checks to make it harder for me. And you can also use it for various storyline reasons. For example, just an example I can think of is let's say someone's firing a gun and they get enough disadvantages, so I choose to do the thing which says that your gun's now out of ammo for the rest of the combat, and you don't have an extra reload to use to get it back in the fight. You can, after discussion with everyone, if everyone's happy, use a light side destiny point to actually say, oh yeah, I remember I actually bought an extra one of these, and use it, so you just have it with you.
Oh, so it's a Deus Ex Machina button.
It's basically a
Yeah.
Deus Ex Machina button.
Flashback
However,
point.
yes. However, with things like that, we're using it like that. You have to clear it with me first, because if it's something that just kind of completely undoes absolutely everything, then it's a bit. But something like that, you know, I'm more than happy to let that slide. And I can do the same for my guys, although I don't normally have a reason to use it for that reason.
Yeah, it's just don't be stupid with it. We can't go into it like a base and then be like, I'll
Yes.
use a destiny point to remember that I brought along 40 pounds of plastic explosive.
Yes,
What
basically.
was in my back pocket?
Yeah, I swear I had it the
Could I
entire
have
time.
gotten?
Yeah, basically that. And this is something that is rolled at the start of every session, so it refreshes itself. And the other thing is the thing that I have to do, which is, and I've only got to do this because Adam didn't spend his starting duty, so he actually has some left. So I have to roll a, so I roll a D100, let's see what I get, 69. The best number. Yeah. Right, basically, at the start of every session, I rank you guys in order for how much duty everyone has, and total it up. I then roll a D100. If it falls within the total duty that the party has, you get bonuses, and the person whose specific duty it lands on gets extra bonuses for that session. Normally it's a case of everyone gets an extra 1 wound threshold that session, and the person who it lands on gets 2. However, if it's a double, so for example, if I roll like an 11 and it lands on someone, everyone the bonuses are doubled, so everyone gets 2 except the person who it lands on, who gets 4 extra rune threshold for that session. And duty is used to get contribution ranks. Oh. Yeah, I just remembered what the extra thing was. Whoops. With contribution ranks, obviously, one of the things you can do is request equipment from the Rebellion. What I've decided is that you can request, at the Rebellion's expense and time to install, modifications to any equipment that you've got. If it's like a modification that you want for like weapon armor, etc., you can request it from the Rebellion as a contribution rank reward. With the rarity, you can only get it based on the rarity, same as with like other equipment. It just saves you time and money from having to buy it and install it yourself.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry about that. Alright, sorry, I know that took a little bit of time, but that's just the ground rules that I had to go into before the campaign started. So with that, is everyone ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, enthusiasm. Right, so as you guys know, I retconned something from Session 0 where I said the Death Star exploded. And I retconned it to the part of the proton torpedoes have been fired into the Death Star's exposed exhaust port, and that's where the campaign's picking up. So you guys, as part of your special ops training, you have to do, because you're on Yavin IV, you have to do patrols around the base in the wilderness of Yavin IV to get yourselves a bit more accustomed to navigating that kind of environment, you know, and especially kind of like on your own with no way to contact like your rebel command and such. However, as soon as the Death Star came into the system, you immediately hear over the radio, you guys need to come back right now, we are evacuating the base. With that,
Right on.
yep, I mean, I will give you guys opportunities to roleplay, but it's going to be a bit of a railroad to get into the main campaign, but if you guys want to roleplay, go ahead, just stop me.
That. What the fuck is that?
Oswald.
That's a tree, Nico.
The big ball.
Looks like.
No, it's the cute little Ewok getting confused.
This is how the campaign dynamic's going to go, right? Okay.
Okay. Right.
By the way, I'm assuming you're having this conversation on the way back.
Yeah, no, we're going to base.
That big ball over there.
Do not in the sky.
As you guys look up, as Niku says that, you see just behind the sun, kind of like an object slowly coming round it, and you kind of realise, oh god, that's
Right.
probably why we're evacuating. Wow, it's a solar eclipse, but the wrong way round.
Fuck. Let's fucking go, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
We're going back to fucking base. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Should
you
we be
speak
worried?
Irish.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that, Nick.
Should we be worried?
Oh, just a touch. Just a touch.
Yeah, sure, it's fine. Hanson here can look after me.
Oh my. This is who the rebellion are going to be banking on. This group of absolute fucking morons and misfits. Should we be worried? I don't know. It's the thing that blew up Alderaan. Maybe.
I don't know that.
You would have heard about something which blew up a planet. So, I mean, it only happened like a couple weeks prior. So, you guys start making your way back to base as quickly as you can, through the undergrowth, hopping over branches, or in Niku's case, kind of ducking under them because it's just easier. And eventually you get back to the old Jedi Temple, which is being used as the current base for the Rebel Alliance. Once you get there, you see people running and hurriedly carrying equipment aboard transport ships and other like small vessels just around the area. And you see someone just shouting at everyone, "Go, just leave the non-important stuff and get on the transports. We're leaving." And you would recognise this person immediately as, and I apologise for and I'm probably going to mispronounce her name, but whatever. Talifa Iblis, who is one of the commanders at the Yavin IV base. Kind of like there's Rebel High Command and then there's her, basically. She's like actually in charge of things. And she sees you and she beckons you up and she beckons you over like, "Come on you guys, hurry up, you're the last ones to arrive from outside the base."
Oh shit. Let's report in, guys.
Right, so you guys are going to be on the deliverance here, and she points to the transport she's standing next to, which is... And this is going to be hard because Andy obviously hasn't seen the films, but kind of like that random ship that's always with Rebel fleets. That transport vessel that's just always there. It's one of those things.
Oh, the little, like, oval transport, dude.
Yeah, the little oval thing. Hang on, let me see if I can... I should have thought ahead and actually got a picture of it. It is... It is that thing. That is a GR-75 transport. It's relatively sturdy and has a couple of guns, but for the most part it's quite defenseless, to be honest. So, after she's turned back to you guys from pointing at the transport, she goes, "The plan is we're going to go into space and then splitting up and then rendezvousing with the Rebel fleet outside, in the Saryakami system, which on the map is where I'm pinging it there. And you guys are currently over here at Yavin.
Sick.
Right. Any questions? No. Good. Get on.
Oh, hey, my ship!
We don't have time for questions. Just get on the ship and get ready to leave.
Swear to God, my ship better be okay.
We've already moved it offload. It's with the Rebel fleet, okay? They've got your ship. Don't worry about it.
Anything else happens to it, you're paying for it. We gotta go.
We were very careful with it. Just get on there, otherwise you're not going to get to see your ship again. Right. So as you guys start heading onto the transport, you actually hear over comms. The torpedoes have gone into the exhaust ports. Which draws a mighty cheer from all the other rebels around you, because that is from a briefing that you guys had been there. That you guys at least heard about. They'd found that this exhaust port that they're talking about was the weakness of this super weapon, the Death Star, and presumably firing these proton torpedoes down it was going to blow it up, and then the base would be safe. But you still need to evacuate before the Empire came in force.
Woo.
By this point, the Death Star has completely cleared the sun, and you can see it there, and everyone just starts watching it, waiting for the explosion.
Fireworks.
A moment passes. Another moment passes,
Well, nothing's happening.
and nothing seems to be happening. There's no explosion. It's still there.
I mean, the sun's quite far away. It takes like 8 minutes for the light to get here, so you know.
I'm sure that's the reason. Yeah. I was expecting fire.
I love the optimism, handsome fuck.
Right.
No, sorry, that's right.
Seeing the lack of an explosion, Tabletha gets on the comms and goes, "We need a status update. What's going on with the Death Star?" And you hear one of the pilots who hasn't been with the rebellion for long say on the comms, "There's been a problem. One of the torpedoes detonated prematurely inside the exhaust port." Don't take that the wrong way. And causing the other one to fail. It's caused damage, but it didn't reach the reactor core. The Death Star is still in one piece.
Run.
And you just see
Right, podcast.
In the fucking ship, guys!
Sounds like a plan.
And you just see
going on?
absolute dread set about upon all the rebels around you as they realise that the plan's failed.
Isn't that meant to go boom?
Yes, dear. Unfortunately, it didn't. Now's not the time to mope. I don't want to die in a place like this.
And
Let's
as
go,
you,
let's go.
That's like so
as you
bad.
guys get on the transport, there is a distinctive green glow. And you look towards it and you see a massive green light emanating from the Death Star.
8 minutes, did you say? Let's go.
This isn't what I signed
I
up
want
for.
to touch it.
No, dear.
I want to fly into it and just grab it.
Nope.
And before you guys, just as you guys get onto the transport and close the door, you hear and feel a massive rumbling from all around you.
As we all die.
Yeah, what a short campaign! Guys. No.
I really like this character as well.
Alright, great speech.
Damn.
So resigned.
No. So, as the Death Star's laser hits the moon/planet, whichever you want to call it, and starts causing a lot of damage around, everything shakes, the temple's falling apart.
Has this guy started like moving?
That doesn't look good.
However,
We're in the back like,
after several seconds of it, the rumbling dies down and then eventually stops. And you come to realise that
Sorry, they're safe.
things are in absolute chaos. The planet is heavily damaged, but it's still just in one piece. And you look about.
Holy shit, where can I get one of those?
It's fine.
be a bit out of your weird house.
And
No, wait.
everyone's just kind of standing there wondering what the hell's just happened. Why aren't they dead? Because you've all heard the reports about what happened to Alderaan when that Death Star fired
Exploded.
at it. Yeah, exploded the planet completely.
Yeah, let's not hang around to find out what's going on. Let's go.
We're still leaving, right?
Fuck off, pilot!
Yeah. After a few seconds, Tabletha gets her grips about her and goes, "Everyone missed that chance! Get on the ships! Now! We're leaving! Everything else is being left behind! Move! And she runs... She runs out of the hangar to one of the ships waiting outside. And with that, all these ships that are there, with everyone else to get on, and immediately take off and start leaving. And you hear something over the comms from one of the pilots who did the run on the Death Star, that they believe that the proton torpedoes may have detonated early, but it caused enough damage to stop the Death Star from using its full power. Hence why the planet is still just about in one piece. But that they would quickly reroute power to be able to fire a second shot, and everyone needs to leave now.
Well, that was fucking lucky.
Yeah. Luckily, we've got the Irish looking outside.
Anybody got any whiskey? Do I need a fucking drink?
Let's get a drink.
Oh my god, I totally love drink.
Where's the bar?
What the fuck was
Are we celebrating? Like, oh my god.
We live, I get paid, we're all sorted.
Oh, I love parties.
Put time for a drink then.
I will do. Like,
Have some good drink.
Right.
Maybe I'll start these for a long time.
I'm good.
what the fuck is whiskey?
Let's get the Ewok first. This is a good idea.
We've got some things to teach you, Nikki. About drinking.
So after a short while, but you guys are out windows so you can see out the sides, and you see that there are there are a couple other of the transports that you're on, including a couple of other actual combat vessels that were also on Yavin IV at the time, which are all now heading as fast as they can up to space. What?
I just check all my shit, make sure I got everything.
To be fair, as part of your patrol, you guys would have taken all your equipment with you, because that's part of the patrol to have all your stuff on you.
I'll pull out I'd use a destiny point to pull out a tot of whiskey.
I mean, are you guys happy for me to do that, or?
I'm fine with it.
Oh my god.
I think we could all use some.
We got loads.
Okay, then we'll use a destiny point. I need you to flip one over, please. If you're going to use a destiny point for that. Thank you.
I think we need it, honestly.
We need to calm the nerves.
Anyone got a shot? Because I will.
Oh my god, I totally have
Thank you, handsome.
There we go.
horror on me.
To life. And it's continued.
Whatever.
After several...
I thought we're toasting to life. I'm guessing a lot of people still just died.
Money. That's
But
not.
we did it. Like, the planet's still there, and we're here. It's so good.
After several minutes, you guys managed to reach kind of like high orbit. At which point you were joined by the remaining starfighters from the Death Run attack, which you would know that about 12 X-wings and about 6 Y-wings went on that attack, and now you're left with about 3 X-wings and 2 Y-wings. So it was a very costly attack.
Fuck.
And alongside them is a very old, freighter. Looks very beat up.
That's a YT-1300 Corellian.
That it is.
I would never
I'm
like
from
Corellian
Corellia.
shit.
What the fuck you say?
That's
I bet that was in the Belfast fucking shipyard.
Belfast shipyards have gone downhill recently.
You do realise at some
One
point...
fucking Titanic and
Yeah, I'm about to say, you do realise, well, I'm going to have a ship called, like, the Titanic 2 now. That just shows up with lots of splendour and immediately gets taken out. By, like, an asteroid or something.
I've been watching Doctor Who where it crashes into a planet without the doctor saving them.
with pretty fucking spears on board.
After the remaining fighters join up with you guys, you all start heading up to actual space so the ships can hyperspace away. However, you see above you a ship entering high orbit. Now I will allow people to make perception checks of difficulty 2 if you want to see it a bit more clearly. You can if you want. I'm not going to force people to make checks if they don't want to. Just if anyone wants to do that, they can.
How do you add difficulty?
What you do is at the top in the dice pool, it's the purple dice. You just add 2 to that, and then you make the roll. Then you go into skills, find perception, make the roll, and it'll automatically add the anything in the dice pool to it.
Really, I'm meant to be honest with you.
Does it?
Is that right?
It didn't do it for me.
Michael did it
And it
right.
also didn't
Wait,
do
no.
it for me.
For me, actually.
Michael did it.
I'm
Top
not-
of the class.
I'm not actually sure what you did there, Will.
I did a thing.
That's not right.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright,
I
stop
think I
second,
know
stop
what I
second.
did. I know what I
What
did.
are you doing?
Oh, I got grapes.
Oh wait,
You were
wait,
all
wait.
right.
What
I
did
know
you
what I
do?
did. It's
Right,
fine.
so literally the only things in the dice pool should be 2 in the purple die, and that's it. And then you just roll perception.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
3 got red.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
No, that's too many again, Danielle. There we are. That's the right amount. Yeah, that's what you should have.
Is that wrong?
I can literally roll blank, neutral, nothing.
Let's try this again.
Fucking hell.
Can't see him fucking at the window.
Alright, that's things like. Okay, so.
Got there in the end.
Okay, so I'm trying to see who else. Sorry, because of all these random rolls that were incorrect, I'm trying to grab the rolls that were right.
I got fucking nothing.
Yep.
Completely fucking
Yep.
blank.
Fell got nothing. Kuta got nothing. People failed or got nothing. So essentially, people can see it but can't quite see what it is. They can't discern any kind of classification for shape. It looks fairly large. It's a fairly large vessel coming down from high orbit, but you got no idea what it is.
What's that? I don't fucking know. Do you fucking know? I don't fucking know.
Big.
I'm a little
Oh my
blinded
god,
by
it's
the
bigger than me.
Is it fucking triangle shaped? They're usually triangle
Bigger
shaped.
than you too.
This one is not triangle
Bigger than all
shaped.
these guys.
It's shaped like a rectangle. Like it's like a rectangle, like cube, like oblong cube
The
kind of thing.
fucking
It's
Borg?
not
Is that Borg?
What is this?
Right. And from that shape, you see several other shapes approaching. Much
I'm assuming this is bad.
much smaller shapes. Would you say so, Dannielle?
I'm assuming this is bad.
It's like you could, like, you know, when you look at the stars and you can, like, make out an image, you could probably do like this.
Yes,
Like,
maybe.
look, you can make a face.
No, it's so
Great.
And as the smaller ships that broke off the larger one get closer, those of you who actually succeeded on that perception will be able to tell that these are TIE fighters incoming. So yes, they are bad ships.
Any guns on this thing? Anybody?
There's a couple, but not much. There's not much
they
in the
being
way of
operated?
defenses. Is it? They are being operated, yeah, by the crew of the ship.
Alright.
And as the TIE fighters
Fucking
get
whiskey
closer,
buckaroo.
yeah, and as the TIE fighters get closer, the remaining fighters all break off to go and attack to try and intercept, and all the ships flying up start firing weapons out to try and take them out. And you also see in the distance the larger object, which you still can't quite make out what it is, starts firing some green lasers towards you guys.
I think that thing's pointing at us.
It is this.
Maybe we should move.
I believe that would be nice.
As you say that, you hear an explosion off to your right, and you see that another one of the transports has just been hit. His engine's in flames, and it starts crashing down onto the planet.
Oh no, Bobby's on fire. I'm sorry.
Bobby?
Yeah,
You're
the
this now.
guy. That one guy who, like, gave us the whiskey, actually, and he's down there now. I feel like we're around like that.
Maybe. I'd rather not. I have things to do.
But we'd be warm.
So,
I kind of feel we're being somewhat blasé about this situation.
Yeah.
I mean, you are drinking, so you know you kind of got an excuse. So,
I mean, there's not much else we can do.
yeah, that's kind of the thing, really. There's not much you can do. You're in a box, basically. You're in a box with minimum protection. There's not much you can do.
Glass case of emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. You do see out of the windows your starfighters scrumming it with the TIE fighters, and after a minute or so of the scrum, because your starfighters are better than theirs, your starfighters get the advantage and manage to take out the So there's a loud noise from outside there. What the fuck?
Yeah, I heard that as well.
I've got no idea. I heard a noise from outside. Sorry, distracted. All this time, that other ship up there has been continuously firing at you. And the escort vessels have been firing back at it to try and provide some kind of cover fire. At which point, the Y-wings, which are like bombers, surge forward and launch some torpedoes at it, which seems to disable the engines on the ship up there and cause it to start firing itself. Sorry, I'm trying to make this more exciting than it actually is, and I'm feeling nothing, but I don't know. It's just to get you guys.
Shut up on that!
Yeah.
Come on, everybody do the Star Trek Rumble. We're getting shot.
Oh shit!
Be shut up, guys!
Back left! I shouldn't say anything. I shouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. However, as the ship is with its engine disabled now falling to the ground, it manages to get some of its weapon systems back functioning and fires off a volley at one of the escort frigates, completely tearing off the back half of the ship and causing it to just explode, pretty much, completely. What are you doing, Will?
I keep accidentally pulling the wire out my headphone. There's a wire like on this actual headphone as well. Like, you know, I can unplug here.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't hear that.
I keep accidentally doing that. With my flailing.
Oh, fair. oh, is that where the Star Trek thing comes in?
Gotta commit.
Stop it, please. Stop it. I thought this section would take like 15 minutes at most. It's gonna go so much longer. Although, admittedly, it's quite funny. I'm not gonna lie. With that ship being out of the way, now the remaining ships do eventually make it to space, and as per the plan, start splitting up and jump to various predetermined points so they can rendezvous with the fleet. And you guys see that the only vessels with you now there's yours, there's one other escort vessel, and then there's one X-wing, one Y-wing, and that's it. The rest have gone the other direction. So, and where is it? So because how hyperspace travel works is you got to get a certain point and then you can jump. And as your little convoy, I'll call it, starts heading towards the hyperspace jump-off point, you see a larger shape starting to come towards you, and you guys all immediately recognise what it is. It is the very iconic Star Destroyer, which has now moved to block your path and immediately launches fighters to intercept.
I think we'd have a better escape plan.
It's
Ram it!
the problem.
Just start fucking cursing the fucker out. Aye, you wee gobshite. Fuck off.
The Star Destroyer gets a little closer and starts firing shots towards you guys. And
Do you shake again?
Actually, yes, you should shake, because one of the shots hits your ship. It's a bit more it's and you just hear a loud explosion off kind of like towards the back, and from some of the comm traffic you realise that one of the engines behind the ship has been hit, The ship is still mobile, still just about, and still one piece, but it is now hemorrhaging speed. It's going a lot slower now because of the hit. Sorry, I keep flicking back and forth from stuff.
I'm in danger. How?
I mean, we're all in danger.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking to someone not on this ship.
Yeah. Several more shots are fired from the Star Destroyer at your feet. A couple of them hit the escort ship, but luckily the shields on it are just about powerful enough to cause only minimal damage. Your ship takes another couple of minor hits as well, causing more damage, which vents out parts of the ship. But it's still limping along. The two starfighters that you have with you are putting up a hell of a fight, trying to cover you guys so you can escape. After a while of the Star Destroyer firing and the escort ship returning fire, you guys the ships do eventually get level with the Star Destroyer because it kept on coming forward, and start moving past it to try and get to the hyperspace jump-off point. However, as you guys do that, you see the escort ship to your side start to turn and start to head back towards the Star Destroyer.
Bye. They're going around it. That's what we should do.
That's a fight we're not gonna win.
Yeah.
And you
I think we are going to.
I agree.
And you
Why
hear
would we win
and
it?
you hear
Wait
over
first, ship. You first, ship.
guys, you hear over comms the voice of Tabitha Iblis, and realise that must be the ship that she's got on. And she tells the captain of your ship, which, if you're wondering, is called the Deliverance. She orders that captain to just leave them behind and jump away, while they try and hold them off. And then the last
This
thing
ship's
you
way
hear,
fucking bigger than yours.
then the last thing that you hear over comms is her ordering her crew to, as you say, Connie, ram their ship. And you see,
Oh my god, we love it!
and you see this ship start to speed up as fast as it can and head towards it, while you guys and the now one remaining starfighter try and get away. However, just as it seems like it's about to get there, the Star Destroyer starts to turn and fires all of its side turbo lasers, they're called, which is their main weapon, at the approaching ship, which penetrates its shield and causes massive explosions to happen at the front of the ship.
I look like it hurt.
You guys are just so nonchalant about this, aren't you?
You raised the bottle.
Yeah.
It's not us.
For you damn crazy bastard. Say which of me nibblers.
So your ship is just about to get to the point where you can jump away, because you need to be so far away from the planet, otherwise it pulls you back. You can't do it. When all of a sudden one further shot from the Star Destroyer hits the main engine on your ship. And you hear over the comms that your primary hyperdrive has been made inoperable from that. So they're having to very quickly switch to the backup one to try and get away. And just that happens, the Star Destroyer fires off one last shot, which, luckily for you guys, is intercepted by the Starfighter, who takes the brunt of it. You guys watch this Starfighter just explode from the impact of the shot, just as your ship manages to jump away.
Fuck.
That should have
Bye.
been a lot more tense for you guys to be such light of that. Just like, it's alright, this is drink, it'll be really.
That happens every time.
Apparently.
I recall you moon a big bad evil guy at one point.
I don't know what you're about.
You know, I'll give you a chance to be a cool guy to see, and you just pull your pants down.
I don't remember that. I'm gonna be honest.
Well,
Was it Cathar
fucking
by
did
any
it.
chance? Or...
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You know what?
Cathar.
I've got it recorded. Cause you recorded it.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at that. But alright, right. You guys then hear over the comms that because you've switched to the backup hyperdrive, it's going to take a much longer period of time to get there than it would have done normally. So you're going to be stuck on this ship for over a month at least.
Okay, I really, really miss my ship.
I hope you didn't finish all the whiskey.
I think I fucking did.
Yeah, but we had a party on my ship. I had alcohol.
Is there no alcohol here?
Probably not. I think he has the only bottle. I'd go for bottle.
I made
Oh,
me
pockets again. See if
Hold
you've
on
got
a
any
while.
more.
play Twister.
Right, so...
There's a little bit left in that.
Just a touch.
Uno too.
Don't worry, I've dealt with it.
So, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity now to do a bit of role-playing with each other, if you want. Go nuts, really. If you don't want to do it, I can just move on and we can get to
Do
the
we
thing
know
proper.
each other?
Vaguely? Not really. You probably know each other's names, just about, but you don't know really anything about each other, or what. And you only have a very vague, and you probably only have a very kind of vague idea of what each of you specialises in. So it's up to you guys
Well,
what you want to do.
I'm the fucking medic, if it wasn't clear.
I think I might hurt myself. Think you can kiss it better?
Oh my god, you should like invest in a plaster.
Well, give it a go, but that's not like a medic application, really.
I'd also like to point out, Will's character is female.
I know.
Oh, you know? Okay. I just wanted to make sure you were aware.
Alright. I mean, we've had a lot to drink.
Will you stop trying to drink out of an empty bottle?
But I just, there's a small part of me that thinks if I keep trying, eventually there'll be a bit more.
There won't.
Come on, beautiful. Let's go fun. Come on.
I just want more, like. I need more fucking whiskey.
Oh, Jacob's gone again.
But anyway, I'll heal you with stuff if you get shot.
Right, so I'm just gonna quickly go check on Jacob and make sure his connection's alright. Sorry, I'll be right
Are
back.
you always likely to be drinking?
I've seen some shit, alright?
Oh my god,
Sweetie,
she's
how was
so cool. Like she's got an accent and she's just drinking.
You dear, how adorable.
Drinking now. I don't even know what an accent is. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, you want to play Twister?
What?
What? I mean, we don't have the board, but I can like draw circles on the ground and.
Alright, what the fuck did I miss?
We're gonna play Twister. Apparently.
you're gonna play Space Twister.
What's the roll to twist?
I think Nikki should be the one that spins it, because otherwise you're gonna be the hell of it.
Have Nikki play by yourself, just to start, see what happens.
Like, first roll, red foot stands on it. Second roll, yellow blue, and it's like 5 feet away.
Play by myself?
Yeah.
So I just come up and like touch your hair. Like, oh my god, is this like hair or is it like tentacles?
Tendrils. Yeah, tendrils.
Tendrils.
I'm touch them as much as you want to.
Can you like poke people with your eye or something?
Are those things lethal weapons?
Hey, are you high? Because you
No.
sound high.
No. What is? I mean, we're high in space, aren't we? Like, we're not on a planet.
No,
But, you
that
know.
is exactly what a high person would fucking say. Did you eat those fucking mushrooms I told you not to fucking eat?
I just thought they might be on the pizza. I like mushrooms. They look very yummy. Do you know what else looks yummy? Twister.
Oh my god.
Yup, no, How much
How
did
the
you
fuck is
fucking
this fun? You have to stretch really far.
You just in the car to play Twister.
Fuck this. Fuck this.
Are you like a teddy bear? Just poke,
Oh,
poke.
it's a fuzzy.
I'm not poking. I'm just poking it because it's looking it's so small and it could probably like bite your finger, but poke. And make
Leave me
Twister.
the fuck alone, I bite.
No, you made Fuzzy angry.
Is he angry? He looks happy. I don't know what race everyone else is, so I can't go wild on their appearances.
Right. Okay, do you want me to do a quick rundown of all the races for you? For everyone else. So, obviously, Andy's an Ewok, Will's human, Michael's a Chiss, which is,
A blue human.
yeah, a blue human with, like, yellow eyes.
You added the blue
No,
ring
red
grill?
eyes, red eyes. Take
Jake-
red
You
eyes.
paint
Red eyes,
yourself
red eyes.
blue?
Then Jacob is a Cathar. And actually, you know what? Let's actually grab all the sprites out. Why not?
A
So,
Cathar is a space lion, for anyone confused.
pretty much.
He's like
So-
a bigger version of me.
So that's Michael. That's Adam. This is Dannielle. They're both Togrutas.
Mhm.
You're that.
I'm a
which
bit
is supposed-
stretched out.
Yeah, you are a bit stretched out, unfortunately. You're Bothan. Then we got Jacob, who's the Cathar. Andy, who's the Ewok. And then we've got Will, who's a human.
Okay, Nicky's got a
Specific
right
teddy bear.
swagger on.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking great. It's fucking great.
You might well be the only Ewok I've ever seen sachet.
So they are the characters. Oh, by the way, one quick thing about the characters as well. I've set up everyone's character sprites so that on your character sheet, if you change the current wound and strain threshold, it will automatically update on your sprites. And the way I've done it on the sprites is you've got 0 wounds at the moment and 0 strain, and as you suffer it, you go up, okay? So if you change it on your character sheet, it will change it on the sprite. So as long as your character sheet's up to date, you can just drag the sprite off without me having to copy and paste it over. Alright? But yeah, there's the cast of colourful and clearly quirky characters.
Time to go and talk to more characters. So, when you go swimming, do your hands like disappear because you're blue and the water's blue?
I mean, no, the water's clear.
But it can be blue. If you be like swimming, like, oh shit, where's my body go?
No, I'm aware of where my body is.
Is this some like unknown law of Bothans that they're permanently fucking
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about all Bothans, but this one clearly is. Fucking hell.
I would like to go to other characters and like, oh my god, you're like a lion. You're gonna be my best friend because we're both furry and we're both feline. Like, and it's great.
You know in fucking like Return of the Jedi when Mon Mothma's all many Bothans died to bring us this information.
Yeah.
Was it because they were all high as shit and terrible at spying?
Yep, that's alright.
They just walk into like an Imperial military base with like a shitty stolen uniform and be like, "Yep, I'm an Imperial officer." With their
I have an
Bothan
infiltrator as
catfish.
well. Exactly what I'm normally doing.
He walks in with like a little moustache drawn on. I'm a human. then looks over to his other Bothan friend like, dude, we're totally getting away with this.
I don't think he can tell that we're another race.
Can I just point out that technically Bothans are the greatest spies in the entire galaxy, apparently.
Well,
Apparently.
now we see why so many of them died.
We didn't die, we just disappeared because we're so stealthy and spy.
Now you
Of
see
course,
me?
of
Hey,
course.
watch this, guys. I'm going to be a Bothan spy. Now you see me? Now you don't.
It's like we're like going into the ocean. We're like incognito. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, you can't see me. Hey.
The only thing I can see is my hands, which means there's nothing else in the universe. That's how it works.
Yeah.
If I can't see you, you can't see me.
Oh god,
Now I'm over here, but you can't tell because you can't see me. Now I'm over here.
Hit me if you can.
You're running into a fucking wall.
Alright, just tell me when you want me to continue with the story, by the way. I'm more than happy to continue whenever you want me to. Just.
I mean, nobody else has fucking introduced Sharpshooter, so. Well, the Infiltrator.
I'm calm because I forgot my first name, so I go, but
Right?
I like the Infiltrate stuff. It's great. It's so good. What about you, Tango Lady?
The same name as
That
a better pilot than whoever's piloting this ship.
That almost sounds
I
like
like
an
that.
Can I just say, Connie, that almost sounds like an innuendo. I infiltrate things. Do it now.
Well, would I infiltrate other than the enemy, though? Ah,
Like me.
There we go.
how can I infiltrate? You know,
I'm sorry.
Think about it, too. Maybe I'll explain that later.
is it to do with your tantrums? Are they like mini cyborgs?
Right, what can everybody else do? I'm a very confident pilot, which I'm glad of.
I like Bounty Hunter. For some reason, I'm in the Alliance.
We have
Money
our
maker.
Infiltrator, who is terrifically high right now. How about you, Coot? Is that a T or an L? Ta. Kuta.
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 Kutalim.
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 Yes, I'm also an infiltrator.
Oh my god, we can be friends!
She passes over her marijuana cigarette.
So basically, what I'm getting from this is Connie's character is going to be the Willow of this campaign and just want to be friends with everyone. Okay,
Could be.
Around, like, holding on to people, like, clinging on
I
to
can
them.
totally see just walking up to an Imperial Stormtrooper and going, "Hi, I don't like you. Let's be friends."
Oh my god! You can't shoot me if we're friends! That's the rules.
You wanna get high?
Hey, dude, I got some spice for you. Got some spice. Spice is an illegal substance, miss. I'm gonna have to ask you to come with us. What? No!
But Spy, like, shove it and you can have some. Take it.
Just force feed him some spice.
But anyway,
One
Mix
person
and
two
now.
infiltrators. Two infiltrators would probably come in handy. Anybody else?
I trained as a sniper.
That's useful.
It is
Oh.
probably when I get a sniper.
I mean, a blaster
Do we
rifle's
not
a-
have one?
I mean, a blaster rifle's fairly is pretty long range, so
Yeah,
I mean, I make do.
sniper.
They're
Yeah, I've only
expensive.
got a fucking pistol, like.
Can't remember what I've got.
Is that also blue? Like your sniper pistol? So it blends in with you and no one can tell, and that's why you're such a good sniper?
because no one can see his weapon.
I mean, the sniper's presumably far enough away that they don't have to see it anyway. like I'm stood right in front of them.
You might get in that position where you just.
And also, I'm not naked. I'm wearing clothes.
Oh, okay.
Look, are you actually high? Because you're coming out with some real gems here.
No.
Oh boy.
Alright, I'll keep driving the introduction, Charles. Space
Yeah.
Lion.
Are you called Simba?
I'm
Rollo.
sorry. What did you just call me?
Space Lion.
Space Lion.
A space lion.
I'll have you know the Bothan is closer to that. Oh. I don't
Take
even
it
have
back
the words.
unreservedly.
I mean, would you rather be a cat or a lion?
One of those. We
I
have both done.
Pride in my appearance, but
Pride. That's a lion thing.
you're right. He's right, you know. If you have another bottle of that good stuff.
Let me just spend a destiny point and I'll get right back.
Perfectly fine.
Again, I'm happy for you to do it if everyone wants to.
Everybody raise your hand.
As long as we share it.
I raised my hand for a stash in the ship. I have
Yeah,
more than
yeah,
one
there's a
bottle.
majority.
I also
Do it.
raise my feet because alcohol.
Majority rules.
Yeah, majority rules do it.
We're getting a stash or a bottle. It's not good stuff.
Can we just
Thank you.
find out the whole ship is just alcohol?
Yes. There's no food on board. You have to survive on your booze.
Right, I found some whiskey, guys. But we gotta ration it out.
It was in my
we'll
second
be
spare
like a month.
pocket.
Just licking it like a cat. It's great.
Oh no!
Yeah.
We stress ball.
True single malt Corellian shit is it? Whiskey.
Woo!
Anyway, Mr. Rainier is what it says on your name tag.
That is my name.
I
It is displayed on my name tag.
You don't have name tags.
Well, not
Is
displayed on
the
my
name
No,
tag that is in my
You know each
mind.
other's names anyway. You know each other's names. You've been with each
No,
other
but I was just
enough.
reading it off my screen. Would I pronounce your first name Rollo or Rolo?
Rolo.
Rolo.
like the chocolate.
What was the difference in pronunciation there?
Say what?
Rollo or
Rollo.
Oh, Rolo.
Rolo.
Weird.
Rolo.
Does
I
he
could
have
do
a
Rolo.
secret stash of Rolos?
You
Does
roll.
not.
You
Face
roll the
Rollo.
first O. Rolo.
Looks
We're
me.
going with Rolo. Okay. What do you do?
I'm a sharpshooter, same as Blue Man over here.
Do you also have
You
a
know what each other's
non-sniper
names are.
gun?
You know what their names are.
He's Blue Man. Sorry.
We gotta have code names.
I'll
Space
make them
Lion,
up.
Blue Man.
Do you be Kendra, lady?
I mean,
We have Blue Man.
Oh my
We have
god, this is
Simba.
gonna go so poorly.
We have Whiskey. We have Pokey the Bear.
Wait, we got what, sorry?
Pokey the Bear.
Poking the bear.
He's a bear and you want to poke him. Oh.
What's yours?
And then
I think she's the Hashashim because she's high level.
So long as everyone remembers these code names, because I am not making note of these. Someone else can make note of them.
We'll remember.
I write it down on my notebook and I'll pull out my hood.
It's a fun place to put a notebook.
Yeah, Yeah, it's just always there because I always forget it, and then like when you're infiltrating, you're just like, oh, what that guy said. It's there. It's like, it's great.
So you get out of sight of it, all of a sudden you just kind of pull it from outside your hood, quickly note it down, slip it back in.
I sometimes get like my fur chopped off though, and it hurts a bit, but I'm prepared.
Right, who else we got? Oh, just Nikki. Little Nikki.
Shit.
Because I mean, Nikki wears a
I make
lot of
things
hats.
go boom. Stealthily.
Did you get that?
No.
Yup, no.
I make things go boom. Stealthily.
What was the last part? Selvily?
Stealthily.
Stealthily.
Stealth.
That did not sound anything like stealthily.
It did not sound
No,
anything
it
like
said
stealth.
self.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Selby.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's Celebrate? The
Oh,
pub?
she makes things go boom. No, Shelby, Selby. As in the town. In.
On the other side of Corellia.
Yes.
It's just across the pond.
Just across the pond from where I'm from, which is Ireland.
Yeah. Well, okay, and Nika's Dreammaker is also the mechanic of the group, which is why he can make things go boom. Because he used mechanics.
I forgot about Pokey the Bear.
And he's also the best one at using computers, although Kuta
Ah,
can
come
also
on.
use computers.
Alright.
Okay, the bar.
So we've got Wahiski, Tendril Lady, Blue Man, Tendril Man, Simba, Pokey the Bar, Pokey the Bear,
There we go.
and then what are you? We need yours as well.
Yeah, Tendril Man.
No, Connie's.
No. I should shoot.
Hashashim.
See, now the enemy will know when we attack. Because we'll show Blue Man attack! Tendril Lady attack! Great.
We're not fucking
Blue Man,
Pokemon.
Simba! Lay down cover fire!
Tender lady, I choose you!
Tendril Lady, steal the TIE
Go
fighter!
get him, Blue Man!
The enemy's weak! Get them, Simba!
It was super effective!
Simba, use a disruptor rifle to the face. It was super effective. Stormtrooper falls down dead. Victory music. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh yeah, speaking of music, I've got some music, but yeah.
I've just got some Blade Runner stuff going on.
Fair dues. I've got some, but I did have a bunch of Star Wars ones, but then Roll20 got rid of them all, so I'm not happy.
Yeah. What else could we talk about on this month-long journey? It doesn't just immediately discard you enemy and all back. You just word vomit into people.
Right. Well, I was supposed to say, is there anything that you guys want to talk about in character like that's to do with any of your backstories or anything like that? Or if not, we can just jump ahead and you guys can just have random conversation with each other, getting to know each other a little better, but not going into that side of things.
Is Cecilia okay?
You're not aware at the moment.
Damn it.
You don't know at the moment. You know she was at the base as well, but you don't know which transport she got on. So you've got no idea where she is at the moment. All you know is she's not on yours. And you hope that she's not on any of the ones that got shot down.
Beautiful, I'm starting to worry. Hold me. Throw us on.
Wait,
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, which one? You've been saying that's for everyone.
Adam's character. Kuta.
Kuta.
Kuta. What is it?
I didn't hear what you said though.
Where it said, I'm trying to worry, beautiful, hold me.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, Azona just like throws herself at Kuta.
I was very surprised, but not bothered.
So I guess we're doing this.
It's like a group hug.
I imagine in the back of Kuta's mind, he's just like, damn, I'm glad I signed up.
He's thinking to himself, I must be very charming.
Maybe it's the tendrils.
You got it, Kuta.
An exquisite pattern.
Is there anything else that anyone wants to ask or talk about in particular that's to do with any of your backstories or anything like that? Otherwise, this is going to be probably small talk and between you guys for the journey. And we can just move on. Nothing in particular? Alright, cool. So, after just over a month, you eventually come out of hyperspace. The journey has not done the ship any good, to be honest. It's barely holding on. But you do see ahead of you dozens of other ships waiting there, which you would recognise as the Rebel fleet. So you have made it. However, as you guys come out of hyperspace, you hear a loud like coming down, and all the lights temporarily go out. They do eventually come back on, at which point you hear hear someone over the comms saying, "That's it. The engines are no longer running. One backup generators. We've already asked." We've already asked the fleet to send over transports to ferry everyone off onto the larger ships, but we've made it. Just sit tight. We'll be there shortly.
Wait, we should probably fucking sober up, guys.
Nah, one more drink.
You're saying we've been drunk for a month.
One final drink to the dead.
Now you did find some alcohol. Now, guys, you did find some alcohol on board the ship in the supplies. It wasn't like the Irish whiskey or anything like that. It wasn't as strong, but there was a bit.
Can I kept back like one shot each so we can have one final?
Alright.
What are we
To the
toasting?
fallen.
Oh, okay.
All the dead people we left behind.
Sure.
Cheers.
Iblis, you crazy fucking bitch, flying the shipping over fucking Togruta. It was fucking ballsy. Did you see it?
I mean, yeah, I like totally would have wanted to ram it, but they did before.
Fucking crazy.
It looks like so much fun.
I wouldn't go that far, but
But ship wars.
to the glorious dead.
Starting to fall.
Whoa!
Everyone just
Candid half a shot and then half again.
I kept going to my mouth and then talking about stuff, so you know I still.
Not anymore. Right,
Last
so
fucking drink.
after a short amount of time, you guys are some of the last ones to be taken off the ship, alongside really the crew of the ship, and you are all flown onto one of the larger ships in the fleet, you guys are picked up by a shuttle. You touch down in the hangar bay, and you get off, and you are greeted by, where's the dude? There he is. You are greeted by what looks to be a fairly elderly kind of gentleman. Kind of like he's got white hair, kind of like full white goatee, and you see that on his lapel, he's got some like medals and such. You don't recognize him at first. None of you have met this guy and don't really know who he is. and he'll walk up to you and he'll go, "Are you the last people from the Deliverance?"
You reckon so?
Yeah. Okay then. Okay. I am. My name is Gambel Iblis, one of the founders of the rebellion.
You
And
related
I'm sorry, and I'm very sorry, but I've been asking everyone about this, and I just want to. I just want to ask something. Does anyone know where Tabitha is? Tabitha Iblis. She was at Yavin IV. She's my daughter.
She's like, went boom.
She's not the best one to explain this.
For sure away. For sure. Right. You explain. I'll take Ashishimo.
Yes.
Unfortunately, your daughter was on one of the ships that blew up.
You just see his face, just his eyes wide, and he looks quite distraught.
She tried to buy us time from one of the Starch ships, whatever they're called.
Star Destroyers.
Yeah, that's me.
They went to intercept and block.
Right. Okay.
She died in a very heroic maneuver, saving many thousands of lives, depending on how many was on her.
Probably hundreds, more than thousands.
But anyway, hundreds of lives.
I see.
She was a really cool lady.
We toasted to her memory.
Well,
Countless times.
If you
A number of times in the show.
if you excuse me, I need to go just talk to someone about something. And with that, he gives you a salute. He turns around and he walks out. And as he gets closer to the, as he doesn't see that, as he gets closer to the door, you see him speed up, and seeming like dart down one of the corridors out of the hangar bay.
Yeah.
So, one of the other like hangar crew who are there just kind of shouts over, we've been told to send you guys off to one of the waiting rooms, and then so you're gonna be sent for debriefing at a later point. They'll call for you guys.
Where's my ship? Your hangar crew, where's my ship? Please tell me it's okay.
Wait, ship. I'm not entirely sure what you're on about. Can you explain?
My ship. Huge. Never mind, I'll find it myself.
I'm just a crew. I'm just here working in the hangar bay. I don't know.
I think you know the ship's at the hangar.
Well, this is the auxiliary hangar. This is the secondary hangar. It might be down in the main hangar. I don't know. Do you see it here?
Do I see it?
No, you don't. It's not in the
Okay,
hangar.
it's in the main hangar.
No.
Wait, can go away.
I didn't.
Does anyone want to go off with her, or is everyone else just going to the waiting room?
I'll go.
I'll meet you there if you don't want to come with me. But some company would be nice.
Oh my God.
Oh, didn't she say there was more alcohol on your ship?
Yeah, there's a bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's damaged at the moment.
The alcohol's damaged.
The ship is damaged at the moment.
The alcohol's fine.
Yes, yes.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Alright. I'm gonna call here. I'm gonna call a quick 5-minute break because I'm just gonna go check on Jacob and see what's going on over there. I imagine he's having connection troubles, so alright. I'll call 5-minute break.
Yeah.
God, this is so fucking hard using a text.
The voice is going.
You just gotta do the. You say yub nub and then say what you were gonna say.
I mean, I've been trying. Well,
just
keep
say it.
saying yum nub.
Got a possible squad name. Could be Havoc Squad because that's we'll probably make a lot of
And
fucking
that,
havoc.
I've got a few.
Okay, we have one of those.
I don't
I
know.
mean, the last one is very similar to something else. It's fine.
Fuck yeah, Havoc Squad.
Wait, what was it? Holy shit, it's a couple. Holy.
Rogue Squadron all die.
You do too.
Rogue will be taken soon.
That's Rogue One. Singing character.
Seems a bit wrong to take the name of a whole dead squadron.
No, but like honoring their memory, and that's really cool.
I really don't think we'll do a good job at honoring them, though.
Don't you have faith in our pilot?
The pilot, yeah.
Or in your sniper skills? Or is it because your gun's not blue? Or you don't have the natural sniper gun? Is that why you think we'll fail?
Yeah, let's go with that. I mean, I'm sure if the drinking stops, we'll be able to do something good.
I wanna go pee.
I don't have any good lines saved.
What?
I've got like a
Anything you
text
say
file.
with that voice is funny.
Oi, fucko.
This is my favourite one so far.
But oi, mate, are you fucking talking to me?
Hey you, using bitch.
I've got fucking loads like that, dude. I grabbed this from somewhere.
Stupid banana raincoat wearing bitch.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know, dude.
Go to hell for an eternal moment or so.
I'm sorry.
What?
I insult people in Shakespearean as well as part of my character. Have fun. You are not worth another word. If thou speaks false upon the next tree, shall thou hang alive till famine cling thee. Fuck you.
Insulting people in Shakespeare.
I don't underget what your character is. Is this book of Shakespeare quotes also in the hood?
Like, I really like Shakespeare because he's just so poetic. And it's like, he's just so suave. And it's like,
Right.
you're from that planet you guys from? Is he big there? Or is it just me? Mr. Irish dude.
You what I'm getting here is that is a baked literary magic.
What the fuck is a
A
Shakespeare?
fusty goat with no kernel. That's my favourite. Your wit makes wise things foolish. Take me for a sponge.
Take me for a sponge.
Go hang yourself, you naughty mocking uncle. And save the rest. Mm. This is true.
Sorry guys, Jacob's having some connection problems. I'm just trying to sort them out real quick.
Yeah.
Right back.
Did you go to the dog park where it was the guy in the big clothes? We'll just go to the same place tomorrow. Maybe we'll see him again. And his briefcase. Just saw him after he left. He like opened the gates to just his cloak billowing. It was like something out of the film. I'll tell you if I see him. Put his ravioli in his briefcase.
What was Cry Havoc?
It's from a Shakespeare thing. I can't remember it. I can't remember what it's called. It's the one, a Caesar thing.
Mm.
Mark Antony says it in his soliloquy.
And
Cleopatra. But I was thinking, we could be Havoc Squad.
Isn't there already a Havoc Squad? It sounds
yeah,
familiar.
In the old Republic,
Oh, is that where I heard it from?
which is quite a while ago. So,
Yes.
it's free.
3,000 years.
It's free.
Yeah, well, so
Nobody's
so
currently sitting on that domain.
in that old Republic, like 2,000 years ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But don't squads need something they can like paint on the side of their ship?
Well, the rest of the phrase is and let slip the dogs a walk, so we can have.
Do you want a dog on the side of our ship?
No one is painting anything on my ship.
We should
Your ship? I thought we had all our own ships.
we should be Squad Twister, and then we could draw Twister on the side. Great.
Like she's regretting us inviting to us to ship now.
We could be
She walks back out to find us all already painting it already.
That sounds quite fair.
Fun game.
Does your ship already have a name?
Yes.
What is it?
The fireball. I think it was the first thing that came up on a random name generation. I was like,
You should have asked us to make names. It's great.
no, I haven't thought of a ship for it yet. As in, the page is too long, and everyone just told me to pick a ship out of it until
Got
the
a
page
name,
number.
but not the ship. I think you're missing an important part.
I know, I don't know. There's so many.
Yeah, good deal.
Okay, I tried looking for like a Star Wars animal that's close to a dog. And I tried it in images like Star Wars dog, and it's just a load of dogs in Star Wars costumes.
Oh my! I want to see
There's our
that.
symbol.
Why?
A dog dressed up as R2-D2. Done.
A dog's in the well, fucking island's in the Star Wars universe. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I had a dog when he was growing up in Belfast.
Why don't you make it an Ewok? Try Havoc and let slip the Ewoks of war.
Because
We can draw an
Ewoks
Ewok
are,
on our spaceships.
because Ewoks are sentient creatures. And it would be very insensitive.
Yeah, I think we need to fuzzy.
Fuzzy. It's Poke the Bear. Pokey the Bear.
We like to blow and shit up though.
Ah, shit. Once we blow shit up.
You think we got the gist of it, Nikki? But I didn't have a pet Ewok, so I had a pet dog.
No, look, we've got no idea.
No?
Yeah, well, I tried turning my phone into a personal hotspot
Yeah.
to try. It didn't work. His computer just isn't connecting to it at the moment.
Oh.
It's a problem with his computer.
Is he got a Wi-Fi card?
That's the thing. We're not sure. I think he does.
Well, is he plugged in or is he not?
He's not. No. He
Sort of a
has.
Wi-Fi
He
thing.
has asked repeatedly for an Ethernet cable to be run from his room into mine, into the corner over there, and then down because that's where the router is. And my
What you
dad's-
could do. I think it'd be like 20 quid maybe. I got a thing and I got recommended this by Cal, I think it was.
Yeah.
You can get a thing and it's like I'm completely unsure as how they work, but it's like a repeater thing. You plug it into like near your computer and it's got an Ethernet port in it.
Right.
Then you plug a second one onto the same circuit as your router. It's got to be on the same like electrical circuit. Like if you've got an extension, it's got to be like in the extension circuit or the house circuit. Or whatever. Thankfully, mine's all in the extension circuit. But it's like a little repeater, and I've no idea how the fuck it works. Apparently, it goes like through the electrical cables, like of the house. The electrical circuit in the house. And you plug it in. You plug one end into the router, and it's a plug. I'll put it down here. Probably can't get the camera to it, but plug one end into the router and into a plug socket, and then the other end plug socket, which is this, and I run an Ethernet cable from that to back of the computer, and it's basically an Ethernet cable. And I think the pair I got were like 20 quid.
Right.
I think your service provider. I got them from my service provider. I can send you some. If you ask.
No?
Yeah, I got some free.
Well, fuck me, I guess. But yeah, like it runs through the the electrics of the house. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam.
I think it does.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
I think the issue actually with that is that, if I'm not mistaken, I think how our house works is that the side that I'm on is on one circuit essentially, and Jacob's side is on another.
Yeah, you'd have a problem
And the router is on my side.
Right. So it could still theoretically be viable if you had like one long enough Ethernet cable, so that you could have, because if he's the floor, he's like above you as well, isn't he?
Well, Jacob's on the
Are
same
you
floor
guys
as
on the
me.
same? Oh, it's
Me
on the
and
same
Jacob
floor.
on the same floor. The router box is below my room.
All right.
I
mean, either way, like if you get an Ethernet cable to route just across, and not have to go like through the floors and stuff, the thing people always blanch at, so you can just go across to connect up, because it does have to be into a wall. You can't be on like an extension cable. Could be viable.
What my dad will probably do is he'll try and find an Ethernet cable that's long enough. He'll probably come into my room, like I mentioned, probably and just go down because it's the shortest route.
Yeah.
That's probably just what he'll do.
Yeah.
You know, Jacob's gonna keep trying the connection, and hopefully he'll get back on, but there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
Which Jacob's really annoyed at because he was really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, there's some like a pack of like TP Link,
Yeah.
Nano Panel Power Lead.
He's got something in the back of his computer which has like antennas there, and I swear that's that'll be and I get a feeling that's probably the Wi-Fi thing.
Yeah. The Wi-Fi.
But it doesn't matter which way he turns it. Doesn't matter.
It's on the PC.
They're always a bit wank though.
Yeah. I
Shit, and I'm like right above the router, and it were always shit, which is why I got repeater thing.
To be fair, Jacob wanted a gaming PC, and to be honest, my parents kind of cheaped out on it. Like £300-400 if that, which didn't get him much. You know, the only reason why he's even able to really play games is because I decided as a birthday present for him to split after confirming with my parents that they'd split it with me was to get him a 4TB external hard drive. It was like 80 something quid, but it meant that he could just put everything on there, so he could actually have more installed and play more games.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he was restricted to no more than 300 gigabytes of space on his computer.
Ooh, that's a lot now.
Yeah, exactly, and his graphics aren't the best. I imagine his network card probably isn't that good either. So to be honest, I think for him, beneath that cable would just work out better. But
yeah,
like I said, hopefully he can get it working. He can come back on, but there's no guarantee at this point. Yeah, and that's something because actually my parents are going away on holiday with my youngest brother on Monday. So, and obviously Jacob doesn't want to spend the next couple of weeks before they come back going through that.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get my dad to promise that he's going to sort it out tomorrow, which this is my dad and he's going to have to be pestering him a lot. But anyway, sorry, back to things. So who's doing what? We've got Azana and going to try and find a ship.
We were going as well to find the alcohol.
Oh, is everyone going?
Yeah.
Alright, that's fine. Okay. So after asking for directions, you all make your way over to the main hangar. It's basically the same as the auxiliary one, but like 1.5 times plus bigger. And I don't know what ship she's got because she hasn't mentioned to me what ship she's got. So you get to the main hangar, and you look around, and you do see your ship. It is here.
In one piece. Has it been repaired yet?
It has not been repaired.
Okay, I'll go past this one.
It has not been repaired. It doesn't even look like they've started on repairs.
Typical.
Right. Also, I'm not sure what ship it is.
I don't know. There's a lot. I'm not trying to pick. There's a lot.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I know you mentioned that you want it to be like a small, almost like a small freighter kind of thing, where like slightly bigger than Starfire, but that's fine. Because I think you mentioned. Wait, what? Sorry, Andy?
Can I fix it?
I'm waiting for the rebels broke it, so they're paying for it because it's an.
How did the rebels break your ship?
Long story. Let's just say they shot at me for a bit.
Spy.
What were they shooting at you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just like grab my gun.
It was a misunderstanding.
Jacob.
Right.
Serious misunderstanding.
We were just...
Yes, it was.
And now you just work for the rebellion.
Yeah, the pay's good. Besides, I get to be in a team with a lot of cute
You're
people.
getting paid?
Yeah.
I've actually got a line for that.
Hey, you got get his connection come back for now, then, mate.
Yeah. Maybe. I can see him.
Yeah, he's actually connected, so that's
When
a
are we
good
gonna
start.
get paid up in this motherfucker?
Getting paid, I just get food paid for for me.
I made it as part of my agreement of joining. I get paid.
Yeah, yeah. No. Right. I was about to say something, but it's going to be explained to you anyway how it's going to work. So I'll be free for now. So you guys obviously found a ship. Are you trying to get on board to try and get some alcohol?
Well, I mean, she knows where it is. She can just get it, come back, we go to the brief.
I mean, I need to find someone as well, and so you guys can go to the briefing and I'll just go find
You're
some.
going to give us the alcohol as well.
Yeah, I'll go do that. Well, I'm keeping some for me, but I'll give you a bit. Because you asked so nice.
I do ask nicely. And if that's not nice enough, I bet.
Alright. So is everyone else going back to going to waiting room and Asana's going alone onto a ship to grab the booze? The booze.
Wait, you're not taking the alcohol to the briefing, are
Yeah, why not?
Fair enough, why not? That won't set a bad impression.
It's the rebellion.
Just sat in the back having a swig.
Yeah, take
Whatever squad we use.
Alright. So after you guys all leave and Azona goes on, you go. So Azona, you go to the compartment where you've got your booze. There's nothing there.
What?
There's nothing there. There's no booze.
What?
There's no
One more thing I have to complain about.
Could I just quickly actually have Azona make me a 2 difficulty perception check, please?
Difficulty's purple, right?
Yes, difficulty is purple. Okay. No.
Okay, no.
Nah, you don't know shit. I mean, that's bad for me, but yeah. Oh well. Oh, so yeah, there's no booze. There's no booze. You are you trying to like rummage inside to see whether if there's like any bottles spare or something?
I mean, I was just gonna go complain to the rebel commanders, so that's me.
No, that's fair enough. All right, so who are you complaining to?
I don't know. First, I want to go find Cecilia, and then I'll go meet the others, and then at this briefing, I'll most likely
How are you
complain.
gonna go find Cecilia?
I don't know.
Well, what actions are you going to take to try and find her?
Look around the ship for a while.
Look around the ship for a while. Okay.
Shout really loud.
Ask for directions of like where the survivors of the base explosion thing. If
Okay, well, the person who you ask will inform you that they are, as part of the debriefing process, they're trying to make a note of who's here and who's still missing.
Okay.
And that the quartermaster of the ship will have a record of who they've talked to so far.
Okay. Go find that guy. I'm assuming that takes back to the briefing where everyone else is.
Alright. They have their own little office near the bridge.
Okay.
Alright.
I'll go there.
Alright, so this also might be a good person for you to talk to about the booze not being there. So after a bit of walking, it's a pretty big ship, to be fair. After a bit of walking, you arrive at the quartermaster's office. The door's closed at the moment.
Knock on
You hear, so you hear a voice from inside going, "Come in."
it. Yep, just guess we're walking.
Yep. So, So you see a what is called a you recognize this species as a Duros. A Duros, who are very kind of usually anti-Empire because the Empire are assholes. Is the best way I can put it. God, I would go find another picture, but it doesn't matter. Fairly stocky build. You know, you're not sure about age because you're not sure how fast or how slow they age, relatively speaking. He goes, I haven't seen you before. Who are you?
No, I'm weird. Hi. 3 things. Well, technically 2. My ship. Things are missing. 2. I need to find someone.
Okay, hang on. Sorry. Who are you? Sorry.
My name's Azana. I was with the rebels that just came back from the base. I keep forgetting the name of.
Yavin IV.
Thank you.
He goes, oh, another survivor. Have you been debriefed yet? Or that's probably why I'm not even going to check my list then because I won't have you. No, that's fine. So you mentioned something about a ship.
Yes, my ship. You broke.
Oh, you mean that? You mean the absolute rust bucket?
Well, excuse me. It's better than most of the ships in this fleet. I will not have you say a word against it.
I mean, I beg to differ, to be brutally honest. But okay, I understand you got a personal attachment to it. I apologise. So what's missing?
My alcohol, my stash. You know, the stuff I like to drink. It's gone.
You had some alcohol in there?
Huh. Yeah.
I will.
Why did you drink it?
No, I didn't even realise. Right, nothing was reported to me, so I'll go have a word with I'll send someone to have a word with the hangar deck crew, and
I mean, the fact that someone's even been on my ship and not preparing it is alone disturbing.
Okay. With that ship, we don't have the parts yet to repair it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a fairly old ship and it needs very specific parts. We're struggling to find it, and in case you haven't noticed, we're fighting a war here.
Yes, well, you broke
it. Yes. I understand. But unfortunately, war effort has to come first. Now, if I can be honest, the best way for you to leverage the rebellion, finding the parts and fixing your ship, is to prove yourself useful to the rebellion, do things for us, and then High Command will be more willing to allow me to look for the parts. At the moment, they haven't even told me to start doing anything to that ship.
Right.
So
I'll go with him.
Right.
Anyway, second thing, I need to find a person.
You need to find a person. Someone else from Yavin IV?
Yep.
Alright. Okay, what's their name?
Cecilia.
Cecilia. A surname or?
No, just Cecilia.
Just Cecilia.
Yeah.
Race?
Human.
Human. Alright. Nope, no Cecilia has been reported here, I'm afraid.
God damn it.
Now saying that, we are missing a transport that has not reported in and not been reported destroyed. She may have been on that one. Unfortunately, we don't know what's happened to it at this time.
Great. I leave.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Oh, by the way, just real quick, sorry. Something from your ship was brought to my attention. He holds up a fairly old, beat-up-looking comlink, and he goes, "This thing keeps crackling a bit. Do you have any idea what it is?"
Give it. That's important.
All right. He will pass it over. Like, well, can I ask who's on the other end of that at least?
No, I leave.
he looks quite bewildered and kind of bored, just like, wait, what? And then he goes,
more than a little bit put out.
Yeah. Alright. So, just cutting away from you, the rest of you guys get to the waiting room. It's basically just a giant mess hall for the most part. And you can see it's full of a bunch of people from different races. A lot of them looking very sullen. You would imagine that these are the kind of people who were from Yavin IV and who watched people they know die. So the mood is quite dark at the moment. It's not very good.
Understandable.
Yeah.
What, no jokes?
I'll just go in and sit quietly at the back.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so dark in here. Like, it even makes me feel sad.
You're gonna have to stop smoking. Come on, just take it out of your mouth.
No!
By the way,
You can't smoke that in here.
By the way, there is apparently a kind of drug that you can smoke in like Age of the Empire called like death sticks. They do bad things. They do really bad things, but it's like an addictive shit. I'm just like, is she like on that all the time, or?
Oh my god, let's find that.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no, but your character will be rolling a setback die for everything you do while you're on it.
Yeah, it's just like, how do you even find these death sticks?
Black market usually.
Well, obviously she's a dealer.
Where do you even get them from?
Why do you think I wear the hood? Not just for notebooks. I want to go make these people happy. Like,
Yob Nob.
Hey, you ever see a dancing teddy bear?
Wait, who'd you say that to, Andy?
Everybody.
Okay.
Alright, what'd you do after that?
okay.
Did you just start like dabbing?
No.
The space dab.
No, just take a bow after my performance and go sit back down.
It's so cool.
You kind of hear a few kind of, yeah, basically what Phil's doing there, but most people haven't really been paying that much attention.
Damn it.
Everyone should be happy because they're alive.
That flip maneuver with the rocket launcher was very good.
Rocket launcher! I'm sorry, did you blow anyone up?
Thank you.
I'm fan performance.
Or was it a rocket launcher that shot out like compressed air or something?
I was more thinking like he was just dancing around it and
Or like
doing
pole
flips
dancing
and
around
that,
the
but
rocket
while
launcher.
holding a rocket launcher that's bigger than
That is like the
in a
funniest.
comical manner.
Yeah, that is like the funniest shit, by the way. Like a fucking Ewok with a fucking rocket launcher. Yeah, gets blown backwards.
If you ever need to get to a high place, you'll just perform a rocket jump.
Well, when you fire a rocket launch, you go flying off of the other end. So it's like two missiles. That one goes north and then you cause damage to other things when you fly.
Right.
Or do you just hurt yourself?
So,
Serious question.
so it's probably been about half an hour at this point, and
I hurt myself.
fair enough. So it's probably been about half an hour at this point, and there's been no sign of Azana at the moment. When someone walks in and goes, right, who are the last people who came on the last shuttle from the Deliverance? It's time for your debriefing.
Yeah, that was us.
Was it?
Alright, can you follow me, please? He's like counting like. Wait,
Azama's been a long fucking time.
Ah, that's why I'm one down. Right. What does this Azana look like? And I'll send someone to go fetch her.
She has tendrils.
She's the Togruta.
Like that, but a girl.
Like,
So a female version of that. Oh, you mean like a Togruta with like the tendril? Ah, okay.
Yeah, and the same. She got the same colorings, like I think in the picture.
He turns to
lighter orange.
Okay,
Roughly.
lovely. So he turns to a soldier who's nearby, and he goes, "Excuse me, can you go find a female Togruta? Items of clothing? Anything particular?"
I think she was wearing
She
clothes.
I mean,
was.
I'll bring out a sprite and enlarge it.
She had like a cloaky thing that like bellowed in the wind when she like calls people names. It's like so dramatic.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's got a pretty good fashion sense, to be honest. I quite like the whole outfit. Really works.
She has a belly button as well.
Alright. Can you just go find someone of that description, please, and bring her to the command room?
Real fashionable lady, like.
Thank you. Can all you guys just follow me, please? So there's a couple people who would like to speak with you. So we start leading you off, and the soldier he asked went off the other direction, like towards the hangars. And actually, just as you're as you're going, you've been walking for about 5-10 minutes. Like I said, big ship. You actually spot a Zana in the distance, kind of like further down the corridor, walking away from you guys at the moment.
She's getting away. Tendril lady.
She's walking away. She can't see you.
Zana, over here.
What is that the person over there? All right.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you hear them.
Oh no, I guess I have to get rid of them.
Yeah, you guys notice the distinct lack of alcohol.
There's no booze.
Yeah, bad news, cuties. Someone stole my alcohol.
Well, that's a whole load of bullshit.
I know, I need to choose someone out about it.
I'm really looking forward to that.
I know, me too, dear. I need to find a transport, so let's make this quick.
Right.
Okay.
Actually, I need to answer a call. I have a few things I need to do, so we need to make this quick.
Okay. Well, if you just follow me to the briefing room. As you're following this person, they just take you along, and they start walking towards a big set of like double doors, and you hear some shouting from inside. Someone is absolutely bellowing inside, and you believe that you recognize the voice of the person who's shouting as being Gambo Iblis.
You fucking knew it.
And as you guys get a bit closer, all of a sudden the door opens and you see Gambo Iblis looks absolutely fucking furious, and he just storms past you.
I'm gonna salute.
You right?
He doesn't salute back.
Rude.
And,
But I mean, understandable.
and inside inside the room, just before the doors close, you do catch a glimpse of someone in what looks to be a white gown.
It's my mom.
It's Mom.
I mean, in character, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know who this is because you never met them.
You.
Didn't she make the whole Declaration of Rebellion thing?
She did, but so you know the name Mon Mothma, but you've never seen her in person.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of thing, you've never seen Moth Mothma in person, so you don't know what she looks like, but you know all
Fair
Mon
enough.
Mothma.
Fair enough.
How do you not get stains on your white gown?
You're not in the room with her yet. You're not in the room with her yet.
Just talk to the doors.
Right. The person leading you will just pause your room and just go, please enter. Someone will see to you in there. Alright, so as you guys enter, obviously, like I said, this is basically a briefing room, but also it looks like a command center. All sorts of screens and people working and such, and like a big like holographic table in the middle. And like I mentioned, you see the person with who's wearing the white gown standing there, and she goes, the final survivors from Yavin IV. Please come forward.
We do so.
Yep. I am Mon Mothma, one of the founders of the rebellion, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Rebel Alliance.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. I am. First of all, I'd like to extend my condolences of the loss of a lot of our comrades on from Yavin IV.
You drank to their memory.
I am grateful that you tried to do something in their memory.
Any news on the missing transport?
I'm afraid not. We are considering it either destroyed or potentially, even worst case than that, captured. At this time, we don't know, and we're having people look into it, but so far we've heard nothing. So, I do apologise for cutting things short, but we will have to get down to business. First of all, there is someone who I would like you to meet, and with that, she looks at one of the people who are standing around the central table, and they types of ring and bring up a hologram, and it is a fairly short man who looks like he's wearing an Imperial uniform. And she points at him and goes, "This is Crix Maydeen, currently a Imperial Special Forces officer. However, over the last couple of months, he has been working with Rebellion and is looking to defend. But before he does that, he is trying to sow as much chaos and confusion in the Imperial Special Forces as possible and trying to get some valuable intel. He has recently been made the head of the Rebel Special Forces, and he looks at you all and goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I am told I was being informed by your instructor in Yavin IV that you are all quite capable. Well, I hope that's true, as unfortunately recent operations has lost us a lot of our more veteran operatives, meaning that I'm afraid that all of you will have to be thrown straight into things. I'm sorry about that, but
No, dear, we don't do that.
I'm afraid.
Yes, yes.
He kind of looks and goes. It's hard to tell because it's a hologram, but you swear he does the kind of like, kind of look in his eyes, like looking away slightly.
This is what I'm working with.
You would probably guess at this point he's thinking, "Good God, these guys are the best ones."
Don't you worry.
Right, so unfortunately, because of the lack of Special Forces operatives at this time, we're going to need to take on more than really we should give especially a new team to handle. So, and I'm sorry, but you won't have much time for rest, I'm afraid. You're going to have to set off pretty much immediately. We've got a few assignments lined up for you. Before I give them to you, though, is there anything that you would all like to ask at this time before we continue on with business?
When can I get my ship fixed?
That is not down to me, I'm afraid. Maybe, I'm sorry, but from what I've been told, we don't have the parts to fix your ship. Don't worry. We will do it at the Rebellion's expense, but especially with the loss of Yavin IV and the loss of some of our ships, we need some time to recuperate.
Second, if you find any information on this missing transport, I want to be one of the first people to know about it.
But would you mind if I ask why you have such an interest in this mission transport?
I'm hoping my friend is on that ship.
You're hoping your friend. Okay, very well. If we hear anything about it, we will forward it on to you.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you want to defect? Was it because you I don't know, we hit over the head by the slick guy? Or was it just bad working environment?
So
basically, no idea what you're on about.
Yeah, I've got no idea what you're on about there. So basically, you acting Crix Maydeen why he wants to defect.
Yeah, she's trying to figure out his moral standings.
Right.
About hours in that.
essentially, basically, I am looking to defect because recent operations that I've been forced to go on myself and to send teams on have been less about dealing with terrorist rebel actions. It's been under the pretext of that, but they've been more about actually terrorizing the population and, to be perfectly honest, committing atrocities. And that is something that I did not join the military for that. You know, I
The
joined.
Empire's been doing that for fucking years, mate.
I know they have, but it's been relatively small things that could potentially be forgiven, I guess. But lately, they've been ramping all that up. And it's got to the point where I can no longer stay there. I can no longer stay with them if this is how they are going to continue operating in the future. So that is
So
why
you finally realised that they were a bunch of assholes. Good for you.
Very tactful, Liz. Very tactful.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
sorry about
yes,
that.
fine.
Right. Is there anything else that any of you would like to ask?
I got nothing.
Okay. So what we're going to do is all of you 7 before us are going to be put into the same special Spec Ops squad. Now we do need a designation for your squad, but if you've got anything in mind, that's fine. If not, we'll have to pick something for you. We can't spend a lot of time on it. And what we will do, and like I mentioned, we've got a few missions lined up for you now. Now, you can do these missions in any order you wish, but just keep in mind that the situation on the ground could be different depending on whether you go do it first or whether you leave it to last. But it's completely up to you. You have complete autonomy in the field. In order to complete the mission, do what it takes to complete the mission, but try and do it in a way that doesn't terrorize the population, please. The rebellion is portrayed as a bunch of terrorists by Imperial propaganda. The last thing that the Rebel Alliance needs now is for any of us, especially our special Spec Ops people, to reinforce that. So try and get along with the locals.
Terrorism.
I'll explain it later, dear.
Like, I want to make friends with people. And...
That's not terrorism.
Okay.
Yes, please make friends with people. That's good. Please do not do bad things to them.
So I can go up and hug random people and be fine?
I wouldn't go that far. If they're happy with it, but... Oh my god. You see, Chris Dean just realised that he's just arguing with literally a child at this point, so it's like, oh my god. By the way, how old is Connie's character?
Like 25.
I want to know better.
Right, okay. Because I was trying to make sure the rebellion wasn't about to send a child off to war.
Oh, this is a child. Okay.
I mean, maybe in a mental age she's a child, but...
I had no one to raise me. I just had the win.
Right. So, okay, is there any name that you want your squad to go by now?
Move a list, like.
Okay. Picture.
Havoc Squad.
Yeah, I'm really.
Havoc Squad? Everyone happy?
Havoc?
Mm-hmm.
Down for that? Raise your hand if you're down for Havoc.
It's a good descriptor for us, so...
Right?
That was Will's reasoning.
Like, okay, so Havoc Squad. Okay, that's fine.
And a small part of me suggested because I was like, I see Jacob playing Saboteur a lot. And I feel like he'd be down for it.
Yep.
Alright, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Alright, Havoc Squad it is. Right. So, now, ideally we want one of you to make decisions in the field. You can decide who that is in your own time. That's absolutely fine. You have plenty of time to talk en route to your first mission. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the mission. So the 3 missions we have lined up for you are as such, and let me just load all of those up. It is that one. Oh, whoops. That one. And then this one. So the first one is in the Polus Massa system. With the help of the locals, we've been able to hide a rebel base there for quite some time. However, recently we've been getting reports of ships going into the system and being attacked. We assume the Empire is behind it, but no one has lived to tell about the attack at this point, so we've got no idea what's going on. So we'd like you guys to go there, assess the situation, and deal with this threat. The next one is on the core planet of Kuat. More specifically, the Kuat shipyards, or drive yards as they're called. We recently had a rebel agent go there to attempt to get some intel from it regarding Empire fleet movements, as I am not privy to that kind of information myself. Unfortunately, we've lost contact with that agent, and we need you to go in there and extract that agent and make sure that the Empire hasn't managed to get any kind of intelligence from them. If they have, wipe it from their systems. But their main objective is to extract the agent if they're still alive. Hopefully with the intel that they've been able to gather before they were captured. Which is what I'm assuming has happened. And then the final one is in the Triton system on the planet Inton 2. Recently, a rebel cell in the area has got in contact with us, wanting to join the Rebel Alliance, but they're fairly isolated at the moment, and they've requested assistance in establishing a permanent hopefully a permanent base of operations on the planet, so they can move on to start sabotaging local Imperial efforts. Now, Inton 2 is also home to another Imperial shipyard, which specialises in making smaller escort ships. But it's usually got a few ships guarding it. What we need you to do is to sneak down to the surface and assist the local cell in any way you can to get them set up so they can start espionage efforts against the Imperials in the local sector. Like I said to you earlier, you can do those in any order you wish. It is completely up to you what order you do them in.
What was the first one again? Polus Massa.
The first one on Polus Massa.
Rebel base ships attack.
Yep. Ships being attacked in the system. Rebel ships being attacked in the system. And they don't know what's caused. They don't know what's doing it, because there's been no survivors so far, and no one's been able to radio anything in. So they want you to go and investigate. Right. Do you have any questions at this time about any of those assignments?
No. I'm guessing that when we pick one of the missions and say we're going to go do it, you might maybe send us a brief and the agent we got to extract will get a name and a description and so on.
Yes. But what we will do is that you have been assigned a specialized squadron of fighters, one per person, which are able to the chief down on the hangar bay in the hangar bay floor will be able to explain it much better than I can. But from what I understand, they are able to get you stealthily down to a planet's surface. And we will send all the briefings to those ships for you to peruse at your leisure.
Right. See.
As well as any intel that we have about what to expect to find.
Alright, I have no questions. Anybody else?
I just don't mind.
Okay, so at this point, Mon Mothma turns to you and goes, "Okay then, Havoc Squad. Good luck out there, and may the Force be with you."
Let's let the dogs of war.
Ah, Captain!
I don't.
Who's the captain? Because I better not be the fucking captain.
Can I be the captain?
I don't know.
Hey.
I don't think you need a captain when we're all in different starfighters.
No, but you need somebody who's kind of in charge a little bit.
Ooh.
Right. Once Havoc Squad, once you're ready to leave, please report to the main hangar bay.
Will do, Miss Mothma.
Thank you. Thank you. You're dismissed. Yep, you get salutes. Everyone does like different salutes. Like,
Do we have a uniform salute for the Alliance?
yeah, no, just like that.
We're all
I
from
guess. Like,
different
kind
backgrounds.
of like the American one, where they just go like that. I guess.
Here's mine. I get a tall whiskey and a pour, and I go salute.
Is that
Mine just like full on bashing me on the head, like, yeah!
Alright, so what are you guys
Walk
doing?
to the hangar,
Sure.
Oh.
and en route, it'll be like. So one of these is a spaceship mission. I'm bad at that, or at the very least not good. And if we're doing some kind of command structure thing, I think the pilot might have to be in charge for that.
I mean, I don't do well with authority. I also don't do well with being the authority figure. You know, I just kind of do what I want.
Right.
So I'm probably not the best person to be in charge.
I think a good leader doesn't want to be a leader.
Right. There you go. You're in charge. He's not necessarily in charge because we're all. I assume we're all quite independent. They do have some semblance of a problem with that heart. But if there's somebody who has more experience with, like a pilot, has like maybe a sort of final say, at the very least a V. And like if we're on like a ground engagement, I'm gonna be quite focused on keeping y'all alive. And somebody else will be focused on shooting things, and Nikki will be focused on blowing shit up. There should be somebody whose job it is to just keep an eye on everybody in like a general sense. I'd say.
To be fair, if we're going to be taking my ship at some point, it's my ship, my rules. So we can start now. My ship, my rules.
All rules, though.
As in, don't touch anything. Don't break anything.
I like touching stuff.
I'll hold mine when I
You'll sit in the cargo every dinner and don't move. I'll push water and biscuits through the door.
I need to answer a phone call. Hold on. Man, mess around with my communicator.
Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about? Just randomly. No, right. So if there's nothing else that people want to talk about, you make it to the main hangar bay, and you see. What? Sorry?
Yeah, don't know what.
Communicate that's crackling. I want to try and get that working.
Oh, that. Oh, right. It's not crackling at the moment.
Can I get it to work?
Sorry, I didn't hear you ask. So,
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah. It hasn't been crackling since you've been given it.
Okay.
You've just been told that it does it every now and again.
Okay.
Is it infected?
No, but I think I'm pretty sure I know what this is. I'm gonna try and contact them through it. So I'm assuming it's two-way.
It is. Well, as far as you can guess, it is. Right. But yeah, at the moment, it's not working. See, as far as you can tell, it's not working at the moment. But
Fantastic.
Can
This
I
one-
check that out?
Yes, please, Fuzzy, give it a go.
Fuzzy!
That's
Alright.
not the agreed
Fuzzy
upon
the
nickname.
Pokey the Bear. Bah.
No, sweetheart. Yes, he's Fuzzy.
Was decided this earlier.
No, dear, I haven't.
It's still tantrum, I guess.
Yep.
Alright,
What can I do
so
today?
like, do you have like tools and stuff?
One sec.
Yes, a dog.
Yeah, it's okay.
You got a toolkit. Okay, that's good. Right.
Where?
Alright, so
In the backpack.
yeah, Nico has a toolkit. Yeah, Nico has a toolkit. So are you gonna be trying to repair this thing?
Yeah.
What are you gonna try and do it? You can't really do it now while you're walking, really. You probably need a service to put like all the parts you take off to try and get it working.
I'm sure we could find somewhere.
I mean, are you wanting to do this before you go to the hangar bay, or?
Yeah, I'll do it before.
Right. Well, you know your way back to the mess hall. You can probably find your way back there, and you can probably try and find a table to do it on.
Yeah.
Alright, so if nothing else, you'll get back to the mess hall, and yep, there is still a table available that you all sit at. So I want you, Andy, to make a mechanics check, and I want you to have it at difficulty. Let's go difficulty 2.
Can I help in any way?
Do you have mechanics? Ooh.
Yes, I do. Well, I've got a point in time. I'm assuming.
Oh god. This is something I meant to
Yes, I have mechanics.
There's something about when people help.
Oh.
And the benefits it does. Right. I'll say because of your help, because you actually have a skill point in mechanics, don't you? So yeah. Because you got a skill point in mechanics, I'm going to say that because of your help, I'm going to give Niku a blue boost dice to attempt to repair this.
Just making sure that dice pool's correct. So yeah. Right.
Yep. So after a bit of time, of working on it, you get to the point where you hear it start crackling again.
Okay.
It is a bit hard to get it to properly focus. It sounds like it does at times, but it's still a bit inconsistent. But for the most part, it is now seemingly functional. It does seem like it's actually properly working at this point.
Right, yeah, I'll hand it back over.
Thank you. Let's go. Hello.
Yeah. You're getting no answer at the moment.
Fine. Well, I'll leave it. At least I know it's basically fixed now to try and contact me again. Okay, the booking ship.
Right. So with that done, you guys all then head over to the main hangar bay, and obviously your busted up ship is still there. And you also see, so I should have mentioned, you'll see several, like dozens of other starfighters in the hangar bay, and you see a batch of starfighters you've never actually seen before. Which, to be honest, you were looking for Dannielle's ship, though you won't be looking at it. But you see there are people there working on those ships, and there's someone there who looks like they're giving out instructions. You would guess that person is probably the head of the hangar repair crews.
Go on then, pilot. I don't know fuck all about shit.
Yeah, but none of these are going to be as good as mine. I'll just lay into them about not repairing my ship again.
I mean, does your ship even fly at the moment? Yeah.
I know. Let's take that one.
I don't trust her opinion.
My eyes. That one.
Oh, by the way, all the ships that they're working on look like single-seat starfighters.
Yeah, no, we can't all fit in that.
We could all like.
We're just told that we're getting doing.
We could dogpile, so apparently they're like really good for like bonding friendship.
Oh my goodness.
We could win.
This is what I have to deal with in characters for the next foreseeable future. Fucking hell. Oh my god. A lunatic, a text-to-speech person, an Irish person, and someone who hits on anything with a pulse, apparently.
Speaking of, yup, yup.
I could sit in someone's lap.
On someone's lap or in someone's lap? There's a difference.
Oh shit, I did put an eye. Oops.
I mean, I'll be flat.
We just like stick ourselves to the sides.
That wouldn't work then, unfortunately. The people normally die in space if they're out there too long.
How about we go and speak to the guy in charge?
The
Requisitions
girl,
themselves.
she's female. Female person in charge.
It's a gender-neutral term.
Fair enough.
You just assume her gender.
Requisition is
I
someone
mean,
who speaks both.
Yeah.
Right. So you head over. You see people working on it, and then you see the person in charge. They don't notice your approach because they're a bit busy, kind of directing people to check systems and make sure everything's operational. Whoever the people who are going to be given these should be coming any moment. We need them to be ready, kind of thing. But yeah, like I said, they're facing away from you. Like I said, they haven't heard your approach because they're a bit preoccupied.
I'll stamp my feet as I go closer.
Right. They will hear that. So upon hearing that, they'll turn around, and they'll go, and they'll go. Oh, are you the Spec Ops team?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Perfect timing. I am. I'm thinking about how to pronounce this. This is a random name I generated, and I never thought about how to pronounce it. Just because. I mean, I was thinking Nestle, but I was like, no, that's like an actual brand of shit.
Call it Nestle.
Nestle.
Oh, Nestle, yeah. Yeah, it was randomly generated.
Nestle Antilles.
Antilles, yeah.
Yes. No, wait. What is that a curly? Come on, keep going.
You're thinking Wedge, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but I can't remember where he's from.
New Hope. He's in.
No, I mean like.
I mean geographically.
Oh.
Yeah, Corellia.
Right. She'll introduce herself as that because I can't think of how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry.
Do you have an Irish accent?
No,
looking
she
better.
doesn't. No, she doesn't. And she'll
What
go,
happened to your accent?
and she'll go, well, I imagine you're here for your ships. Well, here they are. And she points at the 7 ships that are being worked on. And this isn't actually what they look like, but I couldn't find anything better. So. It was the best thing I could find. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I need to find you. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
I got rid of it. Alright. Right. Essentially, that's it. Right. Speaking of which, I'll have to change the name on yours, Will, because I put it like this person's ship, just so you know which is yours. But yeah, this is the Talanx class stealth fighter. Now, it's primarily designed to enable you to get down onto, well, to stealthily get past blockades and ships. It's got some features on it which allow you to do that. In terms of firepower, it just has some light laser cannons, nothing too spectacular. It does the job against things like TIE fighters and things like that. But against especially more specialized Imperial starfighters, it might have a bit of trouble because it's not designed to be in a dogfight. It can hold its own, but it's not the best in them, okay? So just please keep that in mind if you get yourself into a dogfight. It has a class 1 hyperdrive, so it's got the fastest kind of hyperdrive, so you can get about places pretty quick. It's got a Gamillion stealth device, which
A what, sir?
a Gamillion stealth device, which
Right,
powers down your weapons and shields. It takes all the power from them, but it means that you will not be picked up on sensors. Your ship is still visible by someone looking out of a window, for example, and seeing it, but most people don't do that. Sensors will not be able to pick you up, and you've still got full engine control. And just in case you do have to get into a fight, we're also just in the process of outfitting them all with some electronic countermeasure suites, which will make any targeted computers targeting you well, a bit less accurate, so you'll be less likely to be hit. I'm terribly sorry. I know this is unprofessional, but I just have a quick question. I haven't heard from my brother who was on Yavin IV. He was one of the X-wing pilots. Wedge. Do you know where he is, or?
We saw a lot of ships get blown the fuck up. No names came up.
I see. Do you know whether any X-wings got away, or?
Word 2.
Maybe? Yeah.
Was he the guy with like the sandy coloured hair?
Just gonna be honest, mate. We were drunk at the time.
Was
Okay.
the sandy coloured hair?
I'm pretty sure one starfighter at least got away.
Because I didn't see him.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'll just have to see whether we hear anything. Hopefully, he's okay. He's the only family I've got left.
We'll keep an ear out.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, so while I'm here, is there any questions you'd like to ask about starfighters while I'm here? While we're
I think she was flying one of these separate. Because apparently, I don't trust her to pilot a ship. And apparently, our medic here, sweetheart here, is a good at flying a ship.
Well,
I mean, if you just show us to go forwards and backwards.
Yeah, who do I fly this?
Yeah. Well, no, okay. As part of your Spec Ops training, you have all been given some kind of basic starfighter piloting. So you know how to pilot a starfighter. With space piloting, that's the actual skill. You use that if you're trying to pull off any like complex maneuvers. But just for flying the ship, you can all fly the ship just fine and fire the guns. There's no issue there. In terms of I assume that your basic training will be enough to allow you just to fly the ship, fire the weapons, and hold you in a dogfight. Any more complex maneuvers will probably be down to the individual pilot. In terms of hyperspace jumps, the onboard computers for the ships will use one ship's calculations, which can be shared on it, and you all jump into hyperspace together. So long as one of you kind of knows what you're doing with another computer, then there shouldn't be really much issue. In terms of what it'll be like in combat, I don't know, because obviously I've never seen any of you fly.
Okay.
Any other questions about the starfighter, or?
No. Does it take petrol or diesel?
Oh my god, that's such a really good question. Because what else give up? We don't want to be like floating in space and be like,
Right, out of character, I can't remember what the actual fuel's called in Star Wars.
Because there's like no mention of fuel in Star Wars ever until like the new movies.
Until Last Jedi, yeah. I mean, I know they like mine a lot of like, Tabana. That's it, Tabana fuel.
Oh yeah, they use Tabana gas. Yeah.
Tabana gas, which is turned to fuel, yeah, because you get it from Bespin. That's how I knew. Yeah.
But wasn't there mention in Solo or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, now it's like hyperfuel or
There
shit.
was one in Solo, yeah, which is like a super fuel kind of thing. But it's a dangerous thing that's, banned kind of thing. It's banned in the galaxy. It doesn't stop pirates, but no, it uses fuel made out of Tabana gas, like most ships do.
We're just checking because one time I filled my car with diesel. It should have been petrol.
Why show you about that?
It cost me a lot of money.
That won't be an issue with these starfighters. Don't worry about it.
Trick out the space.
My dad was not impressed.
By the way, just real quick, sorry, I should just quickly point out, each starfighter can carry about 2 weeks worth of supplies to sustain you. So that's just to keep in mind that you can spend 2 weeks not being at a base that can supply you. So just make sure you can get back somewhere to get supply. Out of character, the way I'm doing it is that at any kind of friendly rebel place, they would just kind of top up your supplies, so you don't have to worry about that. There are like set times for like hyperspace travel, but for the most part, you probably won't be going more than you probably won't be going more than a week for travel, to be perfectly honest, unless you're literally flying from one edge of the galaxy to the other edge, which would take like a month. So you'd have to stop part way on the way, but other than that, that shouldn't be something that you have to worry about for the most part, except if you're doing massive long distance travels. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? While we just
These ships like the bit where you sit in, is that like a cockpit or like have we got space to move around any?
I mean, it's got. There is the cockpit. There is a bit of space that you can essentially crawl into behind it, which is usually used to hold. It can hold a little bit, like small cargo, but nothing too massive, really.
So what you're telling me is I've got a chair and a crawl space.
Pretty much, yes.
This is gonna be an uncomfortable fucking week.
How much to get my ship fixed?
Do we have to crawl around in that?
No.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, these
Yeah,
things look
sweet.
stealthy, like, aren't they? So that'd be quite useful. Fuck, my legs are gonna be cramped as all hell.
I can
Get wherever the hell
No,
we're going.
we have tried to. Now these do have a bit of leg room, but not much. It's enough so you're not like crammed up. You're cramped up. But I mean, we've had to make a special modification to points at Niku to that one's, so he's a bit a bit higher up. The seat's a bit higher than normal. To make sure it can see out the cockpit.
We've made some special arrangements for the Ewok, and they pull out some big chunks of wood. You just strap it in, and you can reach the pedals.
Yeah.
Just for big stilts.
Fuck off.
Or maybe it's just like a really small ship, like they've just scaled it down.
Oh my god.
It's a little one.
No, it's normal size. It's normal sized. It's just that the seat's a bit higher up, so they can actually see out a bit better. And the headrest is a little lower down, I guess.
There's loads of cushions and stuff at the top.
Guess we've got a child booster seat in there.
It's just another Ewok that he stands on top.
Oh my god. Alright. Are there any other questions? You can tell by the look on her face she's beginning to regret giving you allowing you to ask her questions.
Is there like a heater? Because I'm sensitive to the cold. I don't want it to be warm because then I fall asleep. Because
The
and it's just
cockpit,
like a nice temperature. It's
the
just,
cockpit is obviously vacuum sealed and it's at a good temperature. So you know you're not gonna be too cold. You won't be too warm.
so I won't fall asleep. That's nice.
I mean, while you're in hyperspace, you can afford to fall asleep because you're going to be in there potentially for days at a time while traveling.
I mean,
Hence why you
my
have,
body just
supplies
goes
in
on
there
its
with you.
own. I can't help it if I want to sleep, you know.
I mean, that's fine. Like I said, while you're traveling through hyperspace, you can sleep, and there's no issue with that. Like I said, that's why you have supplies, because it's going to take days of travel to get places, potentially.
Sweet.
Right, I think all my questions are answered. Nikki, Roto, Thailand, any of yours?
Yeah. By the way, Michael, how do you want us to pronounce your guy's name?
Talon.
Taylor.
Can I call you Tail Man?
No. It's Talon or Blue Man.
Blue Tail.
Can't have more than. I don't have a tail.
You have a tail in your name now.
So?
Jesus Christ.
Blue Tail. Big Duffy.
That guy over there's called Fell. He's not felling anyone.
Maybe because he did fail.
I think I need what someone. When we get like out of the ship after like a week of travel, I'll need some of whatever the hell she's.
No.
You can come hibernate in my ship if you want. It'll be nice.
You can hotbox it.
Oh my god. I have a lot of regrets on the moment. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I have a lot of regrets about what
Don't worry.
I'm going to have to deal with this shit for like the next fucking year plus.
It's fine.
It's all of our grief-stricken coping mechanism from our presumably tragic backstory.
Presumably. Yeah, I don't know. Right. So, you then hear one of the while you guys are talking to each other, you then hear one of the crew guys go, one of the hangar people go, alright, we've sorted out for suites, so it should work now. Should be good. So, one of the people pulls out a scanner, pulls out what seems to be a scanner, and it scans like all the ships. They activate the camera registry, and all of a sudden these ships, they're still there, but they're not as big on the sensors kind of thing. So, and they're like, yeah, it seems to be working about how it should be. So, alright, I think these are good to go when you are.
Let's go.
Alright, good fortune out there. Yep, show salute back.
Hands in the middle.
What are we shouting?
Cry havoc. And
Oh,
let's
okay.
get the dogs of war. Havoc!
Are you gonna type havoc or not bother?
I mean, it's just there's a delay between.
It's so late.
Havoc.
Because I'll say yob nob, and I'm like.
Alright.
How does this thing work? Does is like Nico actually typing it out?
That's
Or
what I
is it just
thought,
going off
yeah.
his voice?
I don't know actually.
I
didn't really
would say
think too much
it's
into
probably
it.
advanced enough to go off his voice.
Oh,
I
shit.
just like the thought of a little tiny pause. As quick as he can.
I would assume it's basically a device that translates the Ewok into, Galactic Common, essentially. Where you can all understand it.
Shit,
Right.
now I have to be quicker now. God damn it.
Well, not really, because obviously we understand that kind of you've got to type it, and that's fine, in game it would happen immediately afterwards, or maybe after a second or so delay.
Yeah.
You know, but our character obviously we understand it's going to take a bit of time to type it. That's fine, right? So that actually took a lot longer to get through than I thought it was going to. If we're going to be honest, I thought it was going to be a lot quicker than that, but
Dude,
hey-ho.
haven't every time.
Yeah, yeah. But hey ho, you know, people enjoyed it. Can't go over that.
Yeah.
So, which one are you going to do first? I mean that's a discussion to have in character, really.
Yeah, what are people thinking?
I was thinking the second one.
The second
Yeah.
was
The agent.
yeah.
Oh, we can sneak
You
in.
don't get there quick enough, they make up.
And see some of them's legendary infiltration.
That does sound like a cool one to do.
I'll be right back.
I didn't write down proper. Is it on the shipyards or the planet that we're going?
Shipyards.
Shipyard. Okay.
On the actual shipyards, which, as
No,
people
big
know,
old
surround
ring.
the planet. Literally surround
Yeah,
it.
it's the one with the big ring, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that massive
Yeah.
ring.
That one.
Yeah, I'm down for going to Q.
Right, so like that took longer than I thought, so it might be a good idea to end the session now, and then we can jump into the mission next time. So we'll end the session where you guys have decided where you're gonna go. You get in your fighters. The one last thing I would like is for Azana to make an astro navigation check at 1 difficulty.
Oh god.
I mean,
This should be what I'm good at.
I mean, you'll get to the coordinate system just fine, no issue there, but it just depends where you get, you know, because you might show up like right near the drive yards, like in like a blind spot or something, or you might end up like other side of astro navigation 1 difficulty.
Don't wait.
Or astrogation, it'll be sorry, astrogation.
You and two.
With 1 difficulty.
Yes, please.
Who's that? Don't make it harder for yourself.
Okay. Well,
Advantage is fine. I didn't fail.
yeah. But technically, you failed.
No successes.
No successes. You need 1 more success than failure to succeed. Now, like I said, it's a major hyperspace route. Well, kind of. You'll be able to get on 1 easily enough. So you'll get there, and that's fine. But you're not going to be probably where you wanted to be. So you're probably going to be at the other side of the system when you arrive. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to end the session where you guys have gone into hyperspace, and after some time of travel, you've come out in co-op, but realised that something was off on your calculations, so you've come out of the other side of the system, and you now basically, because you can't do in-system hyperspace jumps, they're not, Star Wars hyperspace drives are not sophisticated enough to be able to do that without significant danger to yourself. So you're going to have to burn across the system now to get there, but that's where I'm going to end it for this session. So, according to the Dungeon Master Guide, I should explain how experience works. I don't know why, apparently I say. So, how I'm going with experience is... I mean, I've got like a chart which basically says like to get this much experience for this. So every person, and don't mark off anything yet because I'm just gonna get it. So for participating in the session, you'll get 5 XP, and then for completing the missions, you'll get more. If you play to like character motivations and backstories and such, you'll get a bit more. And then other things on top of that. So people are probably going to get a bit different amounts depending. So, in this case, everyone is going to get 7 XP except Azana, who gets 12. And the reason being is that you were playing to your character motivation and backstory with the old comlink and asking questions about Silesia and be like, I want to fix this thing to talk to your friend. So I'm happy that satisfied your motivation and your backstory. So that's why I gave you the extra XP. You don't get any duty though at the moment because you need to complete missions to do that and such. So with the XP, you guys can spend it before the start of next session. You guys can just spend it on whatever you want, basically. There's like a section in the core rulebook which is about purchasing like talents, skill ranks, other specializations, things like that. The one thing you can't do now is increase your actual ability scores. They're now set and can only go up from like things like talents and things like that. So it's up to you guys whether you want to spend any XP you get or save it. Alright? But anyway, thank you everyone for watching. This has been Cookie38 and Friends. Sign off for now, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.